you.
Yeah, it is some deranged piano. Dun, 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 dun. And the worst part is, we do have a music room, so... yeah. That we haven't explored yet. Got a feeling that maybe Luke's path will explore it.
More than likely.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Time to see if we are live. So, Pete, are you interested in watching this or not?
We look live to me.
I'm currently drawing right now. I'll probably tune in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We are live.
And we're unmuted, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Let me just double check on that one, actually. Yep, we're unmuted. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yep. Okay. Said hello. We're gonna continue. Oh boy. Habita. Ah! That's right. This was happening.
Belle? Are you alright?
You can see it, right, Jill?
I can see it, yeah.
Without any warning, the call gets cut off. Busy notes blare sharply against the heavy silence. But above the noise cutting through the mute air remains the faint cries of a woman. From beyond the foyer. Or foyer. That's foyer. My hands fall to my sides as I cast a wary look around, waiting for someone to come running. Surely I can't be the only one hearing this. There must be some staffing around, checking things out. But no one does. Not even when her sobs turn more frantic and anguished.
Excuse me? Hello?
See, what I find really interesting is that at this point, Rebecca didn't even see the letter yet.
Yeah.
Because she just, like... She had just gotten the call. Oh wait, we didn't look at Rebecca's profile. Hey, she's an Aries.
Not surprised. Oh my god, her birthday's April 1st. Holy shit!
Yours.
She's an April Fool's Day baby, just like me.
Yeah. Okay. Like Stovies, reading in the library, going to the gym, cycling and jogging, lacrosse. Lesson plans. Oh, you like those, don't you? Okay. Yeah, excuse me, I'm just gonna ignore the crying for a moment. Yep, you just sit there and cry. See, okay, so...
Who's there? Isabella? Isabella? Is that you?
No answer. Growing anxious, I amble over where her cries come from, each step slow and cautious towards the door on the other end of the room. While I'm far from someone who readily gives in to the fear or stories lacking factual basis, the vague, relentless feeling I have earlier immediately returns to me. And despite myself, my heart begins to race and my breathing quickens.
Belle, it's me. Miss Cooper called. Is everything okay?
Yeah, because Rebecca was actually called to by Rose to pick up Isabella, but Isabella at this point had left with Ashton. So I think it's so interesting that she hadn't even read the letter yet, but she hears the crying.
Yeah.
Abruptly, all of it stops. Okay, thank God they took care of it. Well, see you later, guys. My whole body tenses, mouth dragging in a ragged breath, ears straining for any other sound yet to come from the other side. But nothing follows. Instead, the quiet only lends itself to the heavy tension in the air, as if every small movement will disturb the fragile stillness hanging in the room. Oh, that's my heartbeat. For a moment, I thought someone was trying to break down the door or something.
Oh.
And I just imagined, like, that meme of, turn down for what? And it's just, like, someone busting through the door. Turn down for what? Wait for another second. With caution, I reach for the... No, don't open it. My fingers barely graze the brass handle when a hand falls on my shoulder.
Excuse me. Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
Why the frick would you touch someone's shoulder?
It's frozen for me now.
No, it's
It's frozen for you? Okay.
Yeah, on Discord. There we go. Now it's moving.
Still reeling, my gaze shifts back to the door as if any second now the cries will start again or whoever's inside will burst out of the room. But I don't get to dwell on these. The woman's worried voice breaks through the haze in my mind again, oddly soothing in the thick of my unease. Even if the concerned look comes from a total stranger, finally being in the company of someone else is somehow comforting.
Ma'am? Are you okay?
oh no, I'm fine. This is probably just some cold.
Do you need to sit down?
No need. I'm actually looking for a friend.
I wave the mobile in front of her like a gesture alone explains everything. Vaguely, I note the tight grip on it and quickly slip it into my pocket before she notices. She doesn't need to know.
Well, I'm not really sure if your friend would still be here. We're actually about to close the open house in a few minutes, ma'am.
No worries. She's not a guest here. She works for Briar Realty. Miss Cooper called me earlier. In fact, I'm also looking for her.
Recognition flashes in her eyes, and her weird expression dissolves into a smile at once. It's all I need to know that I don't need to look elsewhere or venture deeper into the mansion on my own, because thank God I didn't want to. In some way, I'm not too keen on the latter right now.
Oh, Miss Rebecca Gales, is it?
Yes. Sorry if I'm a bit late.
It's not a problem. I was busy with the open house and a few clients anyway. It's actually a good thing you came when you did. Let's see. Isabella should be here somewhere. I told her to stay put earlier. Girl never listens.
Rose? Rosie, may I have a minute? There's just this one little thing before we go.
Miss Cooper's head immediately snaps up at the voice. In a blink, a different kind of smile spreads on her face. The shit gotta be professional face. A smile, still friendly even, but the kind given mainly for the sake of pleasing other people rather than making friends.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be there in a few.
It's an impressive thing, to say the least. That level of professionalism. I suppose the working years in this kind of business trains you enough to be able to pull that off without batting an eye. It certainly doesn't seem to have rubbed off on Isabella, though.
Sorry, could you give me a second? I have to take care of this.
Don't worry about it. I understand. I can wait a few more minutes. Clients, right?
You won't hear anything from me. Priorities, you know? But if you want, you can stay at the parlor in the meantime.
Parlor,
I
that's
think
what
we
it's
have
called.
a few refreshments left.
Good to know. You'll be able to edit that right away.
No, thank you. I'm going out with a few friends after this. Isabella's supposed to join us too. But that depends on how she's doing, of course.
All right, this won't be long, I promise.
She throws me an apologetic look before sauntering over to a small group gathered at the entrance. Bow! I'm sorry, they just suddenly came in and it scared me.
You're so tense when you play this game.
A couple or siblings and another woman, probably their secretary. Either way, they look no different from the other guests. All three of them primly dressed, albeit in a manner significantly simpler than the others. No frills, no extravagance of any form. But their gestures and movements alone speak volumes of their ingrained lifestyle. In their presence, I do what I can to appear inconspicuous on my side of the foyer. Maybe accepting Miss Cooper's offer would have been a much better choice than standing around awkwardly and gaping at them. All while also attempting my best not to listen in on their conversation. Although that one proves more difficult with how enthusiastic the blonde woman is. Her voice easily echoes through the walls with only the 5 of us here. Pretty soon I find myself being drawn into their talk without meaning
Tomorrow?
to.
First thing in the morning?
First thing in the morning, ma'am.
The mundane talk isn't what catches my attention, however.
Very well. We'll have our lawyers prepare everything as soon as possible. Let's make this whole thing easier for everyone, shall we?
Thanks,
Just let me
motorcycle.
know if there's anything you need from me. You know how to contact me, yes?
Got your mobile number saved here already.
Good. It's just a matter of time then.
It's a brief moment, a fleeting shift of
Monday
my
for
eye.
us, Marianne.
As long as you're positive, we won't be having any problems by that time. You can count on my team.
Why does she sound different?
You worry too much. Let me handle those things.
You don't
Do
sound
be
any
thrilled,
different to
though.
me.
I imagine it's not every day you get projects like this, hmm?
Think I just imagine it a bit differently. Or remember it a bit differently. And the instant I turn my gaze on him, I see
Oh,
it.
I'm certain Mint's ecstatic, Buttercup. Aren't you, Marianne? You know, we could all celebrate this with a few drinks.
She sees an
Why
aura.
don't we?
You see it, right? It's not just
Yeah.
me.
It's
In
not
fact,
just a-
there's this really excellent Irish pub I visited a few days ago.
Looming, hovering over his shoulders, drawn to him like a moth to a flame. A dark blur. No, a shadow.
I think I'll pass on that, sir. I have more important matters to attend to.
Darling, your liver. You already had a glass today, and apparently a few days ago as well. How many times do we have to remind you? Doctor's orders, remember?
What a shame. You never let me do anything fun.
Oh shit.
This Rebecca's like tuning out.
Yeah, but I try to make sense of it. A heavy feeling descends over my whole body. Why? It happens without warning, forcing me to close my eyelids. The sensation creeps over to every part of me, crawling under my skin, draining me little by little of any strength. Leave me alone. Before I know it, my hand is gripping the nearby door for support. The sound of nausea drowns out their voices, and what little sound there is. All except for whispers and laughters. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Judging. Mocking. Taunting. Did you see her shoes today? Oh my god. Muffled in audible words bearing down on me like a death sentence. They wrap around my neck and limbs. Binds tightening with every syllable, every utterance. And with each draw of breath I take, they drag me down slowly, almost painfully, into a bottomless abyss, on and on and on, till the sounds turn into mere distant echoes, until suddenly
Well,
it shouts.
what are we waiting for? Are we done here?
His voice rips through the fog like a sharp blade, and my eyes snap open. When I look at them again, it's gone. I wonder if that thing was trying to possess us.
Maybe.
Just a second, darling. Send my regards to Isabel, please. Poor girl. Please let her know she doesn't have to worry, and tell her to get some rest. Anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Likewise, ma'am.
No shadow or dark clouds, only amicable smiles and cordial handshakes, and the usual pleasantries as Miss Cooper leads them out of the mansion like a graceful host. None of the group seems to have noticed it. And even as I force my breathing to calm down, keep my eyes trained on their backs, and wait for something to happen, it doesn't come back. She returns a moment later. Gently, she closes the gate behind her, but there's a smile on her lips and an extra skip in her step when she walks back to me. Whatever she was discussing with the group had put her in a good mood. Even she appears to not have observed anything odd. Was I just seeing things?
Glad that was over. It's been a long day. I thought for sure we're going to... hey, are you sure you're doing okay? You look a bit green.
It's all good. I'm actually still recovering from a cold. Weather's been crazy lately.
That must be it. The weather, this stupid cold, and the friendly warnings I'm too stubborn to give in to. As much as I hate to admit it, Isabella's right. I was and still am a little feverish when she visited me at the school this morning. The medicine helped, of course, but only some. Although it's not like I can't function. It did get better after lunch, and I was able to go through my schedule like the usual. Now I'm not so sure. However, I can't keep acting like I've seen some sort of apparition when it's anything but. I simply must have listened to too many times to Isabella last week. My fever-mudded mind has started to confuse things. If this doesn't let up, I need another visit to the doctor. Plain and simple. Though I do hope it won't get worse. I did promise... We did promise to watch Zachary's film together.
What?
Just trying to think of what I saw last time and why is it so drawn to him.
Well, think of it this way. Look at him and Hannah as an analogy to Charlotte and her fiancé. And I think she's attached to him because she was in love with the fiancé.
I know what you mean. I've been complaining to Isabel. It doesn't seem to affect her much, though. Must be because she grew up in the tropics. Anyway, shall we? She's probably hanging out with the rest of the catering staff.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised she's there. She eats like 10 hungry men when she isn't feeling well. Lead the way.
With a small nod, she gestures for me to follow. I do so without much thought, finally putting everything in the back of my mind. The entire visit took a whole 24 minutes, and my trip to the mansion, as it turns out, is a useless endeavor in itself. Isabella is no longer there, left shortly before I had arrived. Yeah. Or at least that's what the few staff who saw her assumed. None of them knew where she went, but I could take a few guesses. There's only a number of places in Luxbourne she frequents, and well, she's never been the complex kind. Doesn't take a genius to figure it out. Still, it's odd she left on her own. She could have at least waited for Miss Cooper. It would have saved her having to pay the cab's fare twice
Right
today.
after she was told to stay put! I mean, who does that? Oh, sod off! You don't own the road!
In the end, all Miss Cooper could give me were a string of apologies for my troubles, and a request to let her know when I find Isabella. The whole affair didn't even last long. I probably spent more time traveling back and forth. Soon enough, I'm weaving my way back downtown Luxembourg, worried sick, and on top of that, maybe a little annoyed. Whether at the unexpected turn of events or at Isabella herself, I'd rather not think about it for now. Not when I'm already running late for Zachary's film. Besides, I'm perfectly sure that's where I'll find her. As one would expect, people are already gathered at the movie house when I get to it. A small avenue where it's located has been closed off early from passing any traffic to make way for the avid moviegoers who are sure to crowd the venue. I have to park almost a street away and walk the remaining distance because of it. Looking for them has taken a while in a crowd this big, but eventually I spot them near the entrance. It's these fuckers. Thanks to Zachary, mostly. And as I surmised, Isabella's but
I knew it.
wasting no time, I march over their little group. Words filled with concern tumble out of my mouth before I can stop myself.
Isabella! Oh, thank goodness! Becca, you're just in time.
An odd expression crosses her face as I hold it with both hands, but I ignore it in favor of getting a good look at her, forcing her to keep still and fix her gaze on me.
Becca, you're squishing my face. How are you? Are you all right? Why wouldn't I be?
There doesn't seem to be any visible injury, nor does she appear to be in pain. Apart from her confused frown at my questions, she looks pretty much like how she would any other day. Even so, you can't really tell those things with her at first glance. The last time she got sick, she never bothered to call anyone, even me, who lives right next door. If I hadn't checked on her then, she probably would have died in her bed, with the rest of us none the wiser. It's a thing we laugh about now, but moments like those also teaches you something about a person. If anything, it's given me more reason to constantly worry about her. And the moment a familiar name comes up, I know my concerns right now aren't completely baseless.
Rose called me earlier.
Her expression swiftly changes, and as gently as she can, Isabella pushes my hands away. Yet even before she says anything, I already have a hunch how this thing will play out.
Oh, no, everything's good. Rose covered for me at work today.
That's not what I'm talking about. How's your head?
Then and there, the whole conversation goes down as I've imagined. She dodges my hand when I reach for the back of her head, intending to check the said injury myself. Even makes a show of hiding behind Zachary just to avoid me. Instantly, what's supposed to be a simple inquiry dissolves into a shameless game of tag. Shouting and chasing like none of us can be bothered to act like full-grown adults we're all supposed to be, including Ashton. I wouldn't put it past Isabella, but Ash, out of everyone. In fact, if that stupid smirk on his face tells me anything, he finds this whole mess amusing. Oh, for the
Isabella, this isn't a laughing matter.
She did look pale when I saw her.
Wow, thanks a lot, Ashton, you traitor. I'll get you back for this. Just you wait.
What? I'm just saying it as it is. If you mentioned this earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
There's a moment's pause. My hand stills mid-air as my attention shifts to Ashton, and the words he leaves hanging between the four of us. He doesn't meet my eye. I don't think he's even aware of what he said, but the meaning in each syllable alone is clear. And they echo. They sting. They burn.
I'm sorry. Saw her?
Yeah, they arrived together. Bella looked fine to me then. I don't know.
Of course. Of course! Why else would Isabella leave on her own after being told to stay put? After that little chat about money this morning. Something close to silence falls while I mull over their words. Both what's already been said and what's left unspoken. When I do find my voice, it only reeks with nothing but bitter, unpleasant thoughts. Thoughts I quickly stamp out before they surface. Thoughts I hide the best I can in the deepest parts of my mind, locking it away for no one else to see.
That's good. At least she didn't have to travel alone, right? At least. Good.
Yet try as I might, the green-eyed monster easily rears its ugly head. Like it always does every time his gaze lingers a second longer. Every time he smiles in a manner far too gentle, far too sincere, whenever he thinks no one can see. Every time my mind suggests his words mean more than what they should, every small little thing. Despite what he says, despite his
Look, you
tone.
guys.
For all I know, it may be the same kind of fondness born from friendship. Maybe I'm simply overthinking, like he often tells me, or maybe there really is something there. But in this short display of impatience, I know the whole of it is just for show. After all, growing up with him didn't teach me nothing about him. For whose sake is it? It is this time, though. For him? For Zachary? For her? Or for me? That I can't tell.
If she says she's okay, then there's nothing we can do about it. It's not like we can stop her either. Besides, she's still acting like the same old Isabella to me, if she can still run around like that.
Why are you taking her side?
I'm not. But if she wants to watch Zach's movie with us, I'm not going to stop her.
Ash, that's... You, of all people, should know...
Tell you what, if I notice something amiss with her, I'll take her to the nearest hospital myself. Is that good enough for you?
My mouth opens and snaps shut as quickly, forming a thin, hard line instead. I can't respond. Not because there's nothing to say. On the contrary, there's plenty. So many things I can use to reason and get him to agree. But because he speaks with so much certainty, with much reassurance, it feels like there isn't even a choice. All I can give is a long, deep breath and a reluctant nod in the face of it all. Before I can get a grip of myself and my own weakness, the mood immediately shifts and I'm being tackled into a
Thanks,
hug.
Becca.
It's always been you with him, isn't it?
Did you say something?
Me? Nothing. Don't mind me.
A lie, obviously. What else could it be? Each and every smile, a tiny effort to keep things as they are, or as so I tell myself. Little do I know, this is merely a preamble. It starts out quietly and without fanfare, amidst friendly jibes, and harmless teasings, with a scrap of paper fluttering harmlessly to the ground. One that looks suspiciously like a cheap Halloween prank, no matter how you look at it. And yet, despite how ludicrous it all is, Isabella stubbornly insists, as if our whole life depends on acknowledging the truth in her story. Does she even realize how absurd she sounds now? Crivets. Even my students wouldn't fall for
Isabella,
this.
aren't you taking this a bit too far?
She doesn't give me time to regret, nor think over my choices of words. From there, it escalates, grows into an argument too petty even for our standards as adults. Before we know it, one after another, harsh, scathing words are being spoken.
It's not a joke! Will you guys listen to me first? I saw something in the house earlier. It stood right in front of me. If I hadn't gotten away, that thing might have...
Right. And in broad daylight, Isabella. Even someone gullible would find the logic in that screwed up. There's also no way in hell that this supernatural shit is true.
But it's real! What do you think I saw?
A hallucination? A delusion? Didn't you say you fell down some stairs? So maybe Rebecca's right.
It happened after, when I was trying to get away. I almost got stuck in the same room with that thing. We're all in danger. I thought you were my friends. Why don't you believe me?
But someone has to be patient in all this, and however much my own has already been frayed earlier, there's no one else. Who else here can deal with someone selfishly acting like a kid? Like every other time, it has to be me.
We are, and you know that. But this thing and that thing has got nothing to do with the other. When Rose called earlier, I thought she's just exaggerating. But based on what I'm seeing right now, maybe it's better if we really postpone this for now.
Don't bother.
Just like that, she cuts us off. Slams the door right in our faces while my own temper flares before I can stop it. Although it falters briefly in the hard expression on her, when she snatches the blasted paper from Ashton, I hold on to it. Regardless of how upset she appears, soured expression and balled up fist throwing a tantrum is simply unacceptable. For a grown woman at that. Words form at the tip of my tongue, ready. But before I can open my mouth and let it all out, her feelings and mistakes be damned, Zachary raises a voice of his own.
Guys!
A warning underneath the warmth and hopeful beat in his voice. We all stop to look at him, and even my own anger subsides a little at his tone.
Why don't we all calm down first? I'm sure Isabella has her reasons too. No need to be hard on her. And hey, ain't this supposed to be a happy get-together?
To an outsider, it may sound like a desperate request, but Zachary has always been the one to keep a level head over petty squabbles. This time's no different. He knows what to say, and when he lets it fall, they only ring sharp and true. I realize that
we haven't seen each other for months.
An accent.
I'd really love to know what y'all have been up to. I only ever get to talk to Bella over chat. Please.
And as careful as he is with his own tone, it does make me feel ashamed. We're supposed to be here for him, to give what little support we can give, yet here he is trying to keep 3 stubborn people from outright hashing it out in public. Later we can and will talk about it, of course. There's a proper time and a place for it, and at the moment my anger and whatever reprimands it carries no longer matter. Beside me, Ashton appears to have already caught on. The lines of his shoulders ease to something much more relaxed, his expression back to its usual nonchalance. Isabella, however, she stands perfectly still, her hands her hands clasping at the straps of her bag like a lifeline. Eyes trained at some point near her shoes. There's no anger on her face, only an undeniable hurt. But she's never been good at hiding what she thinks. Always an open book, always the one to wear her heart out in the open. Ugh. Oh my god, her arm's out in the open! Kill it! And when she looks up, her answer is also as simple.
If we keep arguing here, we're going to miss the first few minutes.
Yep. Her lips are curled up into a smile, though lacking both its usual brightness and glee, it's a smile nonetheless. She probably feels like something's watching her. Which it is. I've seen it countless of times. It's the very same one she would show when she knows she has no other choice, or simply when things get tough for her. But despite everything I know about her, it still catches me off guard. In all honesty, I expected her to run, to balk at the first sign of losing this time. I won't even be surprised. At 26, she is the youngest among the rest of us, least experienced, less accustomed to dealing with trivial quarrels like this. Yet here she is, holding herself and coping with it like how she would with matters concerning her family. Outside of that, to me, she has always been this childish, naive girl. And watching the opposite play out right now, somehow I find it difficult to wrap my head around.
All right, that's the Isabella I know.
Oh, good. I thought for sure you were going to cry.
But I envy her.
What was that for?
Stop calling me a crybaby! I'm not one!
Aw, don't cry.
Stop it!
I envy her spirit, her warmth, her cheer, the shine in her eyes when she looks at the world. How everything seems to simply fall back to a pleasant, lively rhythm with her around. How easily and tightly she fits into our lives, even without bonds only long years could forge. Like a lost piece of a puzzle despite her jagged edges.
Rebecca, I like you a lot more or less when I hear your inner thoughts. Because you just sound envious as fuck. And you act as if you're blaming Isabella that you're not that way.
How she draws people to her with ease. How Ashton of all people can be drawn to her.
Okay, scaredy cat then.
That too! If you repeat that, I swear I'll...
Let's just go.
Make no effort keeping the bitterness from my tone. Let it seep, linger stiffly into the air as I avert my gaze from them. From their playful banter, their friendly teasing remarks, and Ashton's tender, affectionate smiles, all before the stabbing aches in my heart change into something too painful to bear. It's all in my head, is what I'd often say to myself. Yet the way my heart rends at at the sight of them hurts. And like a coward, I walk away from it all, taking with me a small hope the movie will distract me away from these thoughts. Because like this, it's easy to find something to hate in her. Yeah. So she's aware that she shouldn't be thinking this way. You know?
Yeah, but she keeps denying it, which is only gonna bubble up and turn into full-blown fucking rage.
Yeah, gotta find a better way of how to get that out, or at least talk to someone.
Yeah.
Delicious water. Oh god, it's all over my elephant shirt.
Oh yeah, I got a new shirt. It's an elephant shirt.
Nice.
It's a pink elephant. It's now nighttime. Unfortunately, it does nothing to improve the mood. Neither does the muggy air that greets us upon stepping back into the noisy streets. Too busy, too loud. Too many people taking what little space of the sidewalk offers. It forces anyone to bump shoulders with nothing really know, let alone care about. On a normal evening, I probably wouldn't have minded the crowd or the humid weather. It's not like any of them are bothering anyone. And yet, even with what's admittedly a pleasant company, I can't bring myself to lighten up.
See you guys some other time.
Oh god. She saw a thing.
Yeah. See ya.
Did she?
Yeah. Isabella. Not even to return the smiles Ashton and Zachary gives us when we go our separate ways. Perhaps
Dynamite Frog gets Rebecca's story.
Yeah. Perhaps this started with Miss Cooper's call, or earlier than that. Maybe even the moment I left bed this morning. Bloody hell, it could have been because of that sodding letter for all I know. I couldn't care less at this point. All I want is the warm bath, sleep, and wait for this dreadful day to end. Now, if only Isabella would stop babbling, then maybe the still throbbing at the side of my head won't turn into a full-blown headache, too.
Zach did a pretty good job with his movie, didn't he? Even though Ash said he ran into some trouble late into filming. But I knew he had it in him. It's not like I didn't believe he couldn't do it. I mean, did you see his face after the credits rolled? All those months he worked on this, and everything's finally...
You weren't even watching.
Only the first minutes. I watched the rest of it, I swear. Besides, Ashton was the one who wouldn't stop asking questions.
Well, why do we still need to talk about this then? I liked it. Ash liked it. You liked it. Shouldn't you be telling that to Zachary in person? I'm sure he'll appreciate it better than I ever will.
I know that, but maybe there's something you want to say? Zach had you check the scripts before he went through everything, didn't he? You also worked on it, even if it was only for a short time. So, maybe you want to...
I don't bother waiting for the rest. The moment I spot my car, I immediately make a quick beeline for it. Knowing here this is merely another attempt at starting a conversation, just so we'll have something to fill the dead air to replace the strained atmosphere we've somehow walked into. One thing, the very thing, I'm not too keen to deal with at present. Behind me, Isabella also changes her pace to match mine, her soft strides growing brisk and uneven in order to catch up. Damn, Rebecca. A small part of me half expects she'll suddenly trip. She's not the clumsy sort, but there's definitely times where she can be the least coordinated person
Becca,
on the planet.
hey! Oh no! Wait for me!
And people wonder why I worry. They're not really completely unfounded once you've already grown familiar with her habits, though right now, this is also at the very end of the list of things I want to think about. Sometimes it does become overbearing. Even her voice, as she calls me after, sounds nothing more than background noise to my ears now.
Rebecca, slow down, will you? Your car's not going to leave without us.
The sooner we get on the road, the earlier we can get home. It's Friday, in case you didn't notice.
I know what day it is, but the traffic's not going to magically disappear, even if we go there right now.
I don't want to hear that from you. Didn't you used to complain how horrendous the traffic is back home for you?
Yeah? That doesn't have anything to do with this, Becca.
Okay. What do you want to do then? Wait it out? Walk? I just want to go home, Isabella. If you want to stay out here longer, I won't stop you. But leave me out of it. I'm not up for any other foolish excursions tonight.
I wasn't thinking about an excursion. I want to go home too. It's already late. It's just that you've been in this prickly mood since earlier. Are you really okay? Was it the cold? Or did something happen at school? Do you want to talk about it?
A long pause follows and it holds everything she's meaning to ask from the very start. I'm in no mood, but at the same time my hand stops short of unlocking my car and my grip on the handle tightens. I can feel her eyes boring onto me, waiting, hoping patiently for any answers I give. She's the same as Zachary, they're bad liars. But when you talk to people like that, if you're not careful, they often leave you with no other choice but admit the truth. Those exact same ones I can't voice. Despite my lack of response, she pushes on, surprisingly. This time her tone is quieter, more tentative than usual.
Was it because of the letter?
It's a well-meaning question, much like the rest of this talk, yet something in how she says it irks me.
If it is, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to cause a scene. I did see something in the mansion, though. I wasn't lying about that.
Whatever she wants to take this, I no longer want to hear a word of it. Not at this minute. Preferably never. Especially when there are a million other things buzzing and prodding inside my head. Okay. Okay, we have our first option. I'm not in the mood to talk. This cold caught up with me.
And during the open house, even if there were a lot of people around, there were weird things happening. I don't know if there was anyone else who noticed, but I heard things. I'm sure it wasn't because I fell down the stairs. Even before that, in the attic,
Isabella!
Yeah?
A pause, so I don't want to let it last. Wanting to give myself a small window to breathe before I lay down the words between us, with as much restraint as my patience allows, which is not much after hearing everything. I can only hope Isabella will simply take them as they are. She can be stubborn as a mule when she wants to be.
This kind of conversation tonight. Look, it's been a long day. I think this cold also caught up with me, and I'm really exhausted. Can we talk about this some other time?
She blinks, and although disappointment flashes momentarily in her eyes, she gives me a curt nod. A relief enough for me, perhaps the first time I generally feel it today. As unpleasant as this has been, seeing something go the way I've anticipated takes the edge out of it. Anything flying through my teeth had to go with it.
Oh, all right. You should have just said so. I told you should have taken a full week off. Were you able to get the meds I brought you, though? Do you need anything? I could drop by the pharmacy for you.
Yeah, no need to fuss. A good night's sleep is all I need. I've been busy the whole day. I guess I should have listened to you and taken it easy. But we have exams to prepare for. It's one or the other, you know?
I knew it! Here I thought you were just upset about something. Even Ash looked a little bit worried about you.
It's fine. Let's just head home, okay? I'll make it up to you next time. Call me out to lunch or wherever. Just... not right now.
Okay, but should you be driving? If you want, I can call a taxi for us. You'll hate paying the extra fees, but you'll be able to get some rest on the way home.
No, don't call a cab. I can manage driving at least. Just get in the car so we can be on our way.
I'm already opening the door and climbing into the seat before she can protest. It's my car. Left with no other choice. She follows inside shortly, albeit with a bit of reluctance. Now shut up and drive, 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 drive. The guilt from this will eat at me later. But for now, these little falsehoods are mine to bear and hide under. For now, this is at least a better choice. Better than pretending she doesn't exist or giving her vague answers. Certainly better than harsh words and outright lashing out at her. And I find a little comfort in that. I can find a little comfort. Is that you?
No.
No. That's the game.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's great. Oh.
That's just very heavy breathing. Thankfully, if anything left to be spoken between us afterwards, we won't discuss it on the way home. Or rather, we can't, because as soon as we... Okay, that's her snoring. Isabella's snoring. She's snoring. Despite my foul mood, I still end up suppressing laughter once the first sounds of her breathing fill the car.
Mama, not your mom, Isabella.
Slow and steady, the quiet rhythm so completely unlike hers, so far removed from every approach. Can you stop snoring in my ears, please? Okay. A few faint whimpers will occasionally come from her, but otherwise it's just us. It's still a welcome break, of course. Peace and quiet is the one thing you rarely get with her around, yet it's nowhere near as comforting. It merely lends the air a strange clarity. Every little sound, thank you for the honk, every single movement more palatable. And with it comes the unease. Adult surprise. Adult surprise hits me. It's almost comical, as if this were a different situation. I panicked when...
It's almost comical, as if it wasn't a horror visual novel game with jump scares.
Yeah. In my haste, I accidentally dislodged my mobile from its seat and onto the dashboard when I swipe on the screen. Soon I'm scrambling blindly for it with my other hand while keeping a steady eye on the road ahead.
That's illegal.
Not in this country of made-up
true.
Europe. A voice crackles from the loudspeakers before I can put it back. Although muffled heavy on the surface, I recognize the person on the other line from her chipper tone.
Hello?
Miss Cooper?
Oh, you're still awake. Evening. I hope I didn't disturb you or anything. I know it's a bit late. Sorry about that. I just want to check on you and Isabella. That girl's still not answering her mobile. Were you able to meet up with her?
Yes. She's with me.
Hello? What was that again? I can't hear you properly.
Yeah, and you're not coming in very well either.
Sorry. Let me just fix this dumb phone.
Ah! My hand stops dead for a moment. I spared the device a brief glance, waiting. Seconds pass. Nothing happens, though. Frankly, I'm not sure what I'm expecting, but the lines in my mouth forms into a frown regardless.
Miss Cooper?
Yes, still here.
Did you say something?
Just that I didn't get the last part. What were you saying again?
No, I thought you... Never mind. Must be the signal acting up. Come again?
What?
Is everything all right over there?
Certainly. Is something wrong? What wouldn't? Okay, you seem to be busy. If this is a good time, I can just call you back some,
Okay, people are calling for my help, but I don't have any help to give. Call 911. I have to make a conscious effort not to panic right then and there, although my tight hold on the steering wheel tells a different story altogether.
Miss Cooper? Rose? Hey, Rose! Are you still there?
Only a burst of static answers me, and... Maybe the slaps is entirely because of exhaustion. It has been a long day, and I haven't fully recovered from last week's bout of the flu, contrary to what I've been telling people. Though perhaps I had paid closer attention to it. Had I not been so occupied with other thoughts, I probably would have noticed earlier that it never came from my phone, but somewhere right behind me.
Oh.
Can Can you
Just
not?
Just
Can you
time.
not? Can you not? Get out of my car!
Oh,
Time slows to a crawl. Looking up
that
is a
noise.
mistake. The first thing I see is a face, ghastly shade, every inch battered, bruised, and bloodied. Oh god, I could see the whites in your eyes. Even in the darkness, the world passing by in a blur of lights outside, I could still make out the wounds. Blood still oozes from it, little trails of crimson running down its face, glistening under what little light there is. Looks like you need to brush your teeth there. You're gonna develop some cavities.
You know, on top of all the other death you look like.
Yeah, I would suggest some moisturizer, conditioner, everything. How about a good, you know what? I think you need some vitamin life.
You need some bath bombs, girl.
Hold on, she needs some vitamin life. Do we have any vitamin life around here? Anyone can spare some vitamin life? Pete, you got vitamin life?
No.
Sorry, we're out of vitamin life. But the gleam in its eyes catches mine. The quiet plea, the anguish, and the desperation in them. More than its hideous features, an awful stench of gore now soaking in the air. Oh man, you're soaking it into the leather!
What gets me is that despite seeing all this, she's denying Isabel.
And try as I might, I can't bring myself to look away. Even as its lips contort into a horrific smile. Please don't! Stop it! Stop it! Oh, you're just a kidder, aren't you? You're just a joker, aren't you? Yeah, you're playing pranks on me. Even as sharp, harsh noise pierces in the air and the silence all around.
Rebecca! Car! Eyes on the road!
Because everything I've been taught and constantly reminded myself, I close my eyes. Oh. It's a brief moment, a short, vivid second of muscle memory and instinct completely taking over. And if I didn't allow it, my hands didn't move, and my feet didn't hit the brakes in that exact second, Isabella and I might have died. No. I shake the notion away before I lose myself in it right now. It's an ugly line of thought I refuse to venture into. Not when breathing is a struggle and every ounce of strength has been totally drained from my body. Most definitely not while Isabella's panicked voice beside me still rings in my ears. We're alive. We're safe. That's all that matters. It's not her face that I look for when I finally open my eyes. All gone. I expected stains, little telling marks and creases on the covers to show me where it sat not a second ago. But whatever it is, it left not a single trace. And though courage is a hard thing to gather at this point, I take what little of it remains in me and turn towards the back seat. Even then, there's none. Or was there really something in there in the first place? With how empty it is, I'm beginning to doubt it. Stupid fluid.
I need a long rest after this.
My hands fall uselessly to my sides, numb from how taut my grip was on the wheel. Yet, still trembling from the unexpected rush of adrenaline. Against my ears, my heart still pounds, an erratic rhythm, and my breathing hasn't slowed down. That lady tried to kill us.
Creepy ghost woman.
I mean, she was laughing when we almost died via car crash.
Yeah.
But the world has already righted itself without waiting for me. And little by little, second after second, I sit here motionless. Color begins to seep back around me. Along with it are the sounds and a voice, no longer the indistinct ringing it was earlier.
Becca! Are you okay? Answer me, will you? You're scaring me. You know what? I think we should just call a taxi since...
Can you keep it down?
Strange, harsh, and completely unintentional. But with the heat prickling at the back of my eyes and the mild throbbing at my temple, I could honestly do with a little silence right
Keep
now.
it down? We almost crashed, Becca!
I know what happened. It was a lapse. I'm sorry.
A lapse? You call that a lapse? Becca, I really don't want to end up a mangled mess on the side of the road. Or a mangled mess anywhere.
It's funny because
funny
she
you
was.
mentioned that.
She was
That's one
in
of
one
her
of the endings.
where she ends up that way.
Yeah, that's one of her endings, actually. We actually get to see it. It's
All
terrible.
I'm asking, if the time ever comes, which I hope isn't right now, is a peaceful death. Give that one to me, at least. Not that I'm asking for it, but please.
Isabella. Belle, you're overreacting. If you're so worried, why don't you drive?
Don't have a license.
I keep telling you to get one, didn't I? For the past 5 years. Do you see why now?
I wasn't really expecting to stay here this long. I thought it'd just be for a year or two.
All of a sudden, a pensive mood comes over her. Isabella looks away then, while what's left of my little lecture never crosses the tip of my tongue. I don't allow it to, because in each of those words she let loose earlier is a small truth. Her stay has always meant to be something fleeting. Earn some good money, go home. It's what she'd tell herself during the first year her. Now, half a decade later, I'm not sure she still believes that. Even I'm not sure if I still believe it. And if there's something in her reasons that has changed along the way, even if I already have a hunch, it's one thing I've never bothered to ask. Those are hers to keep.
I'll be careful this time, I promise. Just please. Can we give this whole thing a rest for now?
And she nods, and that is the end of it. We spend the rest of the trip back to Salem Well in silence.
I mean, it's a good thing we're on the road because then all those car noises you hear in your background work perfectly.
I do. How many motorcyclists do I have in my freaking area?
I don't know. But it is a Saturday night. They probably all decided, road trip! You know.
Road trip to Philly, my dudes! It begins is innocently enough. Oh, is this how the apartment looks? On the outside? Huh. Tuesday mornings arrive like any other day, before it, bright and clear. Even though it comes with an extra helping of the unusual October weather, I appreciate being able to catch a glimpse of the clear skies lately. After going through a bout of sickness last week, it does something to lift the mood of what would otherwise be a dreary morning. And despite being mostly a creature of habit, I wind up waking up earlier than usual because of it. Still no earlier than Isabella, it appears. I assume she'll take a day or two off because of what happened with Miss Cooper, but that doesn't seem to be the case. The sound of the morning news drifts from her unit when I walk past on the way on my mailbox. Oh yeah, Miss Cooper died at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we look on the 25th. Yeah. Miss Cooper died. Chances are, around this hour, she's already dressed and ready to go, probably just waiting for the next bus to arrive. I tried following her example before, but I don't think I'll be repeating that.
Really? How can anyone be up before the sun is up?
It's a habit she got from home, she said, instilled in her by the kind of life she grew up in. Like clockwork, it's always at 4 a.m., either to help with the chores or prepare her little siblings for school. It surprised me the first time. She just didn't look like someone who could. In the end, I simply pass it off as one of the many things anyone will have to get used to around her. Not that I'll ever fully understand. I'm my parents' only child, not in my parents. We aren't well off, but so far, I've lived a relatively easy life. Then I have to think about bills or food for the next day, or paying for any siblings' tuition on top of my own, or supporting a sick father's medication. All I have to worry were about my grades. If I'd gained Mum and Da's approval, what we'd be having for dinner. When put next to hers, they all pale in comparison. They look less like problems and more like petty issues this way.
Petty issues?
But as unimportant as it all sounds, sometimes its ugly head rears at the most inappropriate moments. Like a ghost lady's.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and sometimes they come through your mailbox in the form of a fancy-looking letter, pretty ribbons and all. Wait, what? Whoever sent this has spent silly money on the envelope alone. Verging on ridiculous, actually. I can already imagine Isabella wrinkling her nose when she sees this, then she'll complain about unnecessary expenses and rich people problems. I'm almost afraid to touch it myself. As if simply brushing a hand against the crisp surface will be enough to put a crease on it, and it'll be a terrible sight. Terrible sight to the sender. It's a yawn. But as extravagant as I find this, it isn't really the first time I've received one. Most of the time. It's not even from me, so who am I to complain? Her parents most likely. Either way, no look of surprise crosses my face once I flip the envelope over and see my parents' names written in a neat script.
Nothing new then.
Their years at the academy naturally brought with it various connections. People from other fields, art, science, business, politics, you name it. This one, though, gives off a much more personal vibe. Letters like this usually come from old students, people who've grown fond of my parents, and they, in turn, treat like they're children of their own. I've only met a few of them. Most of them moved on to become successful in their chosen careers, and little letters like this are the way of expressing gratitude. It's one thing Mom and Dad are proud of, rightfully so. I'm happy for them. But there are times I wish they'll remember they have a daughter here. The real one. Oh.
Yeah. That kind of thing.
Not that it's of any importance now. It's not like they didn't raise me well and provide for me. They did. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be where I am right now if it weren't for their hard work. And like a dutiful child, I do everything I can to give back. Even if it's a small thing, like letting them know they've got another meal waiting for them. The phone rings for a good minute before someone answers. Mum, her voice warm as I remember.
Becca?
Hi, Mum. How's the conference going?
Oh, I like this picture of you.
Well enough. Until your dad sprained his ankle.
Oh no, is it bad?
I'm alright. In case anyone in this family cares to listen, I'm alright. Very much alive, darling.
And there you have it. He'll be up and walking in a few weeks, don't worry. We're going to have to extend our stay here until it heals, though. Is something the matter?
Nothing big. Just that this mail arrived for you this morning.
I lie. Thankfully, she doesn't notice. Although, if I'm going to be honest, a small part of me yearns for her to do so and ask me about it. But I put that idea down almost as soon as it surfaces. Shouldn't make them fret, they're busy.
What does it say?
Raise your glasses, give cheers to the good times, blah, blah.
Becca manners. That isn't how I taught you to read.
Sorry. You are cordially... it's an invitation, Mum, for a housewarming party. From, Hannah?
The name rings a bell, though at the moment I can't recall when or where I've heard it recently. Must be nothing too important if I didn't bother committing it to memory. There are a lot of Hannahs in the world, so who knows?
Hannah.
She also wrote you a note, Mum. It says you used to be her private tutor at the Evans mansion, and that she misses you and would love to see you two again.
Makes my heart clench to read another openly say those words to them. The same ones I want to tell them. I want to see you too. It's been years since we've been together as a family. And if there's one thing that hasn't changed from childhood, it's that Mom and Dad are busy with their respective careers. Out of the country, away on some meeting or symposium, sometimes for months on end. It only grew more frequent with the years until I'm old enough to live on my own. I'd like to think that's how I become independent at such an early age. They've always praised me for that. At times I wish I didn't.
Evans? Oh, I remember now. Honey, it's Hannah. Hannah Evans. Remember? Bright girl, 2 years older than Becca?
Didn't she get married a few years ago? 7 now, I think. But, they grow up so fast, these kids.
Yeah, she invited us to that too. Fonte de Medici. But we missed that one because you had to present your paper in Singapore.
We did send her a note after. Still a shame we couldn't attend, though. What is it about this time?
She sent another invite for a housewarming party. Becca, when is it?
This Friday, Mum.
Oh, that's too bad. We'd love to be there, but Da's not in a condition to go walking around. I guess we'd have to decline again. I really miss that girl.
I could go in your place.
I let it slip without thinking. Personally, I've never been fond of gatherings. Regardless of how simple people make it seem. But if there's one thing I hate hearing, that disappointed note in Ma's voice always ranks first. Whether it's directed at me or some other thing, doesn't matter.
Are you sure? Don't you have work this Friday?
The event will be in the evening, Mum. It shouldn't take anything away from my schedule. It's all right. The invite's for 2 people. I can bring someone with me so things don't get boring.
I see. Maybe you can also invite Ashton?
Mum, that's a sure no from him. He hates attending parties. But I'll see what I can do. If not, I can always bring Isabella with me. You know her. She won't say no if there's food involved.
She won't want to go back to that mansion, though.
Okay, if it's not going to be a big problem for you, I don't see why not. We owe you this one, darling.
No problem, Mum. I'll even say hi to Hannah for you.
Please do. And let her know we'd love to see her once we're back in the city. Leave her a number or something.
I will.
But you know, the 2 of you would have become really good friends. Don't you remember? You met with her once. If my memory serves me right, you were 12 then?
This too, I can't recall. It was probably one of those meetings where we only talked a bit before going our ways. If she did leave an impression, I'm pretty sure I would have written it about it somewhere, or at least recognized her name. As it is, the only few people I remember clearly from that time in my lifetime is Ashton and Mandy, to some extent. Mom must have sensed my confusion because she
Don't push yourself too hard, darling. Really? It felt like having 2 daughters back then. Sometimes I wish they didn't send her away to boarding school. But, well, you know how often that goes with them. Still, try talking to her while you're there.
Oh, we'll see. I'll let you know what happens after.
I'm looking forward to it, darling. Take care of yourself.
Will do. You too, Mom. Bye. Tell Da to be careful next time.
She got knuckles then. A hearty one, tender and always light on my ears. She may be a stern teacher, but this is the part I love about her the most. You know what I'm always so impressed whenever I see these background pictures. Because of the lighting effect that's on.
There's also a heavy amount of, detail to it.
Yeah. When life and responsibilities that accompany adulthood are things far from our minds, if given the chance, I'd love to go back to those. I don't dwell on it, though, shaking it all the way almost as soon as the memory forms a clear picture in my head. I've always wondered how Isabella can easily pretend everything's normal over a phone call, then bounce back to her usual self immediately after. I've seen her do it plenty of times. For me, it just drains of whatever energy I have. And with the whole day of teaching still ahead of me, I can't afford to look exhausted in front of my students. Even for a wee bit. It's never a good example to set. With another sigh, I put everything into the back of my mind and tread back to my room. The rest of the day waits. 15 minutes later, I'm heading out, dressed for the day, car keys in hand. Ordinarily, I don't stop for anything. There's never a need to. That's the beauty of this apartment complex. It's quiet and everybody keeps to themselves. No useless platitudes in the morning. No need to wear a smile on your face unless the other people are nosy enough to ask. Today, however, The morning broadcast still plays from Isabella's room. My brisk face slows to a stop, and a frown gradually forms on my face.
She hasn't left.
Of course, this isn't unusual. There are times when I've left earlier than she did, like last Friday, before their open house. But those days are few and far in between. It only happens in direct circumstances, though the last part of that might be a bit of an exaggeration. However, with what's happened in the last few days, maybe today is one. The death of a friend isn't something anyone can brush off, and for someone like Isabella is the kind who gets attached to people easily. With Zachary, Ashton, and I, that has been the case. I can't imagine what she might be going through right now, especially when the woman was someone she owed a lot, despite their training being brief. Something weird is happening today. We would give her space, but we are nosy too. Let's check in on her.
Whatever. I've still got time anyway.
Okay, with light steps, move closer, and we are going to knock. Still, I don't do so until I hear her
Isabella?
answer me.
Belle? Are you in there?
No answer. After a second, I finally knock. Lightly, I don't disturb her in case she's sleeping and merely left the telly running last night. Never mind how she never lets that happen, ever. Waste of electricity and all.
I just want to check on you before I leave. Is that okay? Are you going to work today, Belle? I'm about to leave. If you want, I can drop you off.
Another round of knocking? Oh, shit. See, why the hell aren't you called Rose yourself? You have a rose keychain.
Yeah.
You wear a rose shirt. You have pink hair. Anyway,
maybe they would have thought it would have been too on the nose.
Yeah. Anyway, being the creeper that we are, we take out a copy of her key from our bag and unlock the door. She lent it years ago. Oh, okay. After I complained about the mess and offered my help in cleaning up. Okay. I thought the gesture was completely unnecessary back then. After all, I could always knock. But she never did bother taking them from me. Always returning it or turning away from the conversation whenever I insist. At one point, I simply stopped trying to hand it back to her.
Isabella? I'm coming in, all right?
Okay, and then 3, 2, 1. Okay, we go inside, and this place is shitty.
I mean, it's messy, yeah.
Her unit's still a mess. Just in little cups on the table, pile of clothes on the side, paper strewn about, unkept bed. This is a given. Will always be a given. I've been here several times already. Still wonder how she can function like a human being with a place like this. However, that's neither here nor there. I'm not sure what I'm expecting, but it's certainly not finding an empty flat. Granted, she could have left earlier, far earlier than usual. But she never ever leaves without making sure she's unplugged everything. That's something she doesn't forget to do. Doesn't help that her bathroom appears unused this morning. Another habit, and it can only mean she hasn't been here since last night. Perhaps even in the morning after Miss Cooper's death. Either idea doesn't sit well with me. What with the news we've been hearing lately?
The authorities are still trying to find the cause of death for all the victims.
No comment on employees' deaths. Ansel and Butcher case going cold again.
Early investigation revealed most of them were employed under Briar Realty Corporation at the time of death. Meanwhile, BRC has refused to comment on this.
We don't kill our employees. We're gonna get some more. We're like Amazon in this case. Doesn't matter if they go on strike. We can always hire more people. Gathering my wits, I immediately place a call to her mobile. It rings for a good minute, the sound of a comfort in itself, but when another minute rolls by without her answering, well, I'm not a woman prone to panicking. Son about to temper, maybe, but never panic, despite how I may sound when speaking. Okay, goes to voicemail, and this is, well, you're panicking now. Pause doesn't last long, though. Next moment, my fingers are already moving across the screen in search for the two people who might be able to help. Ashton's number, We're gonna call that one because he's dependable and when this situation calls for it, despite how much Isabella and him give each other grief. That already says a lot about him. There's Zachary, but around this hour he's probably still sleeping. If he has freelance work, it's very likely he's gotten himself into bed. He's the last person I want to bother, if anything. The wait doesn't take long. Soon, a click. Then Ashton's voice echoes through the receiver, rough and still heavy with sleep. He never did grow fond of mornings.
Christ, what time is it? What's up?
Not you, apparently.
Good one. Did you call us early just to make that joke? I'm going back to sleep.
No, Ash, hold on. This is important.
Becca, stakeout last night. Make this quick. I've still got a few hours before the chief bothers me.
Sorry, I'll let you go back to sleep after. It's just that... Wait, you were on a stakeout last night?
Did I say that? Shit. Forget I said that. Forget I said anything. Forget we had this conversation.
So, you have no idea?
About what? About what? I also have no idea why we're talking so early in the morning, so there's that.
No, will you stop sleep talking or whatever for a second? Belle didn't come home last night. She's gone.
Who?
Isabella!
Instead of an answer, a brief pause comes after, followed by something blunt and heavy hitting a hard surface and a string of rather colorful curses coming from him. Shit, fuck, ass, no. What kind of... I got that scream. The... Ah! Oh no! Joe! I'm falling off the cliff! Ah! it's like his own Wilhelm scream, but it's the Ashton scream.
Yeah.
The
Basically.
The moment might have been one of the many things I keep to myself and remember fondly in the next few days, if things aren't the way they are now. When he picks it up again, there's no trace of sleep left in his voice.
Say that again, from the top.
Isabella's gone, Ash. She didn't come home last night. Her flat's empty. She left her telly running. You know she doesn't do that at...
Okay, Becca, stop. Calm down first. You're starting to panic.
I'm not!
You are. Breathe. One person's not going to simply disappear like that. This is Isabella we're talking about. Did you try calling her?
What did you think is the first thing I did? She's not picking up. It went to her voicemail.
How about Zach? Did you check with him?
Not yet. I didn't want to bother him. You know he has trouble sleeping and all that.
All right, I'll go ask Zach. I'll call you back.
No, wait!
The call ends before I can utter a single word of protest. But for the first time since entering this room, tension is gone from my shoulders and my breathing has eased. Okay, good. You're sitting in that bed. That's not something else. The bed creaks as I sink down on it with a heavy sigh. The telly still blares the same uninteresting news and I'm surrounded by clutter. At the same time, I feel strangely calm to be here without worry nagging at me. I'll have to apologize to Zachary later for sending Ashton this way this early. Oh, yeah, relying on the letter for... This
You
isn't
sure
the
sound
wrong
tired.
choice. It never will be. That's something I won't ever doubt in him, much like his promises. True to his word, he calls back only a few minutes after the last one has ended.
She's with Zach.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. She could have at least sent a message last night.
What are you, her mother?
It's the one thing I hear from Isabella, but from Ashton...
I don't want to hear anything like that from you.
I'm serious. You've got to stop treating her like she's one of your students, Becca. You don't have to keep tabs on her every time. Last I checked, she's only 3 years younger than the two of us. That's almost a decade gap from those kids you're teaching, you know.
Wait a minute. Jill, would I have found Isabella's dead body in here if I had stayed home?
Oh god, you probably would have.
Oh shit.
Says the person who keeps calling her Scaredy Cat.
That's not related at all. Anyway, I'll go check how she's doing. Don't stress yourself out. You go ahead to work.
Wait, you? Don't you have a precinct to be at? Whatever happened to not treating her like one of my students? Because if anyone's going to ask me, I think you're doing the same thing.
Zach said it's an emergency. Something happened last night.
Emergency?
He didn't put it in those exact same words, but it sounded like it.
Ash, what really happened? Is Isabella fine?
She's alright. She's safe. Zach let her stay the night after she... Look, okay. Z-Man wasn't clear about it, but let me handle this. I'll check on her. I'll bring her home.
Sounds like a lie if I've ever heard one. The sort where he omits things so people won't fret, and I'm not sure whether I should be happy he cares that much to do that. There shouldn't be a need for this between us, is there? We grew up together, didn't we? But yet we grow apart because when time enters in, sometimes relationships can end. Okay. He knows I'm capable of at least hearing out the truth without gnawing at me for the rest of the day. He knows me better than that. I know him better than that. Frankly, there's plenty of other things to say about this. But despite and after all the trouble he went through with how things are moving at the moment, only one thought occurs to me. I can handle it. Sorry for the trouble. What do we say?
I can handle it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it went down.
Huh. And if I say sorry for the trouble, does it go up?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. And it goes up to what it was supposed to be before. I recognize the concern for what it is. It's not new for him to go out of his way for us. And to be honest, this is what I love about him. Finally admitting in your thoughts, huh? Why does it, okay, so this picture right here of her looks like that she's like in a wedding gown. This part right here.
Yeah.
With the veil. But it's not, it's just a group photo. Anyway. As much as I would love to take this off his hands, it would be selfish for me to insist, considering he knows of my other commitments. To do so feels like I'm trampling on that kindness he seldom offers to anyone.
Sorry for putting you up to this.
Nah, don't mention it. You've got other things you need to worry about. Take care of those first. This is a small thing.
I still owe you one.
Oh, I can name a few things you can do about that. You know, there's this ice cream shop that opened near the movie house. I could use...
Okay, let's stop right there.
How do I keep missing
That's
the beginning
enough.
of the extreme Slender Sister says?
On second thought, maybe I'll just think about it some other time.
I don't know.
Harsh.
Yeah, anyway, hello. This is the Rebecca chapter. Dynamite Frog. Hi, Dynamite Frog.
Oh, he commented a while ago.
Oh, really? I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I don't even see Lunar Sisters.
You should probably refresh your chat just to be safe.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that. Hate it when that happens. Hello? Okay.
Do you see the chat now?
I'm waiting. You know, I refreshed it, and everything that would have been said is now gone. Oh. Yeah, chat's being weird for me. I've been looking at it, and it hasn't changed. It's only now that I saw Dynamite Frog. I feel bad for not answering. Did anyone answer him?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I told him that we were in the Rebecca chapter.
Yeah. Like the old ways, a wayward 26-year-old is at the bottom of the list we need to worry about. Hey, don't you fret about 26-year-olds and don't you underestimate them either. They only got 4 more years before they're 30.
Yeah, honestly.
This is how we find common ground. We may not agree on a lot of things. We may see things the way the other does, but the give and take is something we've learned to get used to over the years. Whenever it's like this, confidence in him is the least I can offer as thanks.
Really? Thanks for this, Ash.
I'll let you know what happened afterwards, I promise. I'll call you later. You have a good day. Bye.
Okay. I admit, the way he puts it isn't comforting enough. He could be blunt like that, so many unknown variables, so many words left unsaid. I wish he'd simply lay them all out in the open, because like this, I'm more inclined to think there's an exaggeration on the other's part. If it's from Zachary or Ashton, I don't know. In the end, all I can do is wait, go about my day, and hope for the best. Gee, I hope nothing creepy happens to me at the school.
Oh god, wouldn't that be something?
Yep, having to see that with that little girl again. Hey there, mister! Lenny bitches falling down. Shut up, child! Oh my god, that constant loop of that song is terrible.
Yeah.
Made me not like her. Because it was so blaring. I couldn't... Usually I can tune them out. Couldn't. Couldn't with her.
Yeah.
I spare Isabella's room for one last glance, disturbingly quiet now without her in it. Why don't you turn off the television for her? I'll get answers from her later. For now, my concerns are left here. Oh, thank God, I'm just here. Oh, you already encountered Kylie at the school? Yeah, in the beginning. The rest of the day slips away in a blur. Despite my best efforts in keeping this morning's events from suffering in my mind, it sticks. In a way, everything today simply feels like a reminder. Every conversation, regardless of how casual, every topic, no matter how mundane it seems. I blame the news entirely for this. Recent happenings brought quite a few interesting stories to everyone's attention. Mostly superstitious talk of death. When locals talk about death here, anyone can sure hell count on someone bringing up that mansion Isabella sold not a few weeks ago. More birds! You're right, birds are on cue. Even my own students won't stop yapping about it. I think it's even worse than when it was back up in the market. Now there are more stories. If this is the world reminding me of what matters, or simply because the atmosphere around this time of the year calls for it, I'd rather take the latter. At least then, I can be sure people will forget about it in favor of another set of holidays after. For example, we gotta think about Thanksgiving and its great big bird that we will eat. Nevertheless, this may be a painful thing to admit, but listening to them is a pleasant distraction while waiting for Ashton's call. I hope he didn't forget. The school day is about to end soon.
No, that's got nothing with what I heard.
God dang, you're a male student. Oh. Okay, female student apparently has no voice, so, Jill, you be female student.
You always hear stuff. I'm not sure if half of them's even real.
No, really. Rowan knows about it. He used to be in the same class with them.
Used to be in the same class with them. Birds. The real horror of the VN.
I can hear you from back here, you know. Whatever, Rowan. Anyway, the story goes like this. There were 3 of them. They entered the mansion on a dare, and they were all never seen again. No one knows what happened to them. Up to this day. Scary shit, man.
Cock and bull story. Calling it now.
No, you don't get it. Why don't you ask Miss Gales then? Better yet, why don't you go inside the place? I'm betting my allowance you can't do it.
Oh yeah. So we actually saw a reference to those students that they're talking about in the last stream that I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
When you watch the rest of it, tell me what you think. Anyway, their talk immediately halts when I look up, all of them suddenly pretending not to be engrossed in the current activity. Still, a word to put a stopper to this nonsense is needed. Creativity and imagination fostered by these stories is one thing, but reckless ideas should be corrected before anything potentially tragic comes from it.
Back to your worksheets, everyone. And I don't want to hear any talk of dares or going inside that mansion. It's private property now. You'd all better stay away from it before...
At the noise, the whole lot of them go silent. You can almost hear a pin drop. Look on their faces would have made for a funny picture, but it's irrelevant to the moment. If that is a student loading around, someone's going to be in trouble.
I'll be back. If you're done, you can leave your worksheets on my desk.
Birds.
Keep the noise to a minimum while I'm gone, okay?
Although there should have been 4, not 3. Yeah, that's the only thing. Inconsistencies within the OVN. I can see their eyes on me as I walk out the door. Alright, man, she's gone. Now, paper airplane fight! Whee! A muted kind of anticipation. A bit unnerving, but it's far more agreeable than feeling of being watched I've been during these past few days. Can you read this for me, Jill? I'm running out of breath.
Maybe if you, didn't make so many jokes, you wouldn't be out of breath. Just saying.
I just want to make some jokes sometimes, okay?
Yeah, but you exhaust yourself so much, darling. But yeah, I can read.
Thank you.
Class is still in session for most of the rooms. In a few hours, once the final bell rings, however, this place will once again be filled with busy chatter and footfalls, an everyday cycle in itself. But for the moment, I let the silence guide me, my ears focusing on whatever sounds there are or there will be, searching for that distinct clanging of metal.
Oh, shoot. The trees are actually moving.
Oh, nice.
Look at that.
A good minute passes, and for the portion of it, only my steps echoes through the halls. And another. I'm about to turn around when the sound of it halts my footsteps. It's a little muffled and frequent, but grows louder after each interval. And with the hallway devoid of people, if I don't put a stop to it soon, it'll start to disturb the other classes still going on. Looking for it doesn't take long. All I do is follow the racket, and shortly I'm standing in front of a nondescript row of unoccupied lockers.
Aw, damn it.
And then from inside one of them, sitting in the middle, comes the noise. Annoyingly disruptive now that I'm facing it. Like someone's pounding on the metal door from the inside, hoping to get out.
Oh man, someone got stuffed in a locker.
Those damn bullies.
Yeah.
Leaning forward, I try to get a glimpse through the horizontal slats of whatever's causing it. But in this light, only darkness greets me and another round of clanging. Louder than the previous one. More desperate. I've heard stories before from the other schools from a few colleagues who had to deal with it once or twice. Although personally, I've never encountered one myself, and I can only thank the heavens I haven't yet.
If this is another kid, some other student stuffed in a locker.
With a huff, I straighten up and study it briefly with a frown. Without delay, I reach for its handle and... At once it stops. Immediately replaced by the muffled sound of a mobile phone ringing. I give the door a few raps before taking my attention away. A second. Another. When nothing or no one responds, I finally avert my eyes and I pull out my mobile. Ashton's voice greets me from the other end of the line, oddly cheerful in light of this morning's matters. Or maybe because I'm just expecting some grave or serious news from him. Instead, I get this.
Hey, Becca.
Well, you sound happy.
I do? My voice still sounds the same to me.
I finally got some.
There are only two things I know that could be the reason for that tone. Sweets, or he's gotten a good lead in this case.
And he probably got some.
From the sound of it, I'm going to assume it's the former, since lately that case is all that's running inside his head. If there's ever a third one, I've never heard of it yet. I can only hope it can only be one of the two.
Ignore that. How's Isabella?
Drove her home a few minutes ago. I think she's sleeping now. Sorry this took a while. Z-Man gave us the puppy eyes after we tried to leave. Had some food prepared for us, apparently. We didn't have the heart to say no.
That's all right. Is she okay now?
I'm not really sure. She didn't say anything to Zach, but she mentioned a plan to take a few days off from work. It was a passing comment before I left her, so I didn't get to ask.
Must be because of Rose's death.
Could be. It doesn't seem like it from Zach's story, though. He said she was shaking when she got there.
Shaking?
The word triggers a memory. From 3 days ago on the way home from her little treat after she sold the mansion. I didn't think much of it at the time, but I won't lie, it scared me. The terrified look on her face, how she sounded when she suddenly screamed.
Becca? Still there?
Yeah, I just remembered something. Sorry, don't mind me.
Look, if you can talk to her, get the story out of her. That would be great. She wouldn't talk to Zach or me even when I tried. Maybe she'll speak up if it's you.
I'll give it a go, but I can't promise anything, okay? You know how stubborn she can get.
Stubborn Isabella.
This stubborn
thanks for
seems to
letting me
run
know
with a
about
family
this.
of friends here.
Everyone's stubborn. And I farted. Excuse me.
If you want, I can get you that ice cream thing you mentioned tonight. As thanks. Just as thanks for all the trouble I've caused today.
Believe me, I'd love to take you up on that offer, but I've got something on my schedule this evening. Thanks a lot, Becca.
There's a short pause before he cuts the call from his end, and once again I'm alone with my thoughts. But rather than answers, all I got from it are questions. More of them, one on top of the other, as if the world isn't planning to give me a break anytime soon. But that's a problem I'll tackle later. Right now I've got students who need to be taught follies of eavesdropping if the slightly open door and their smothered laughter from inside is an indication.
All right, enough eavesdropping. All of you, back to your seats.
Is that your boyfriend, Miss Gales?
None of your business.
He totally is. A quick scuffle follows that comment.
I don't hear the scuffle, so I'll do my own. There we go.
Like that. If there's a retort prepared at the tip of my tongue, I drop every pretense of letting it loose on them. There's no use arguing with teenagers sometimes, boisterous as they all are. They're still my kids, though. Rough around the edges, maybe, but still my kids. You'd think they would have caught those by now, but well... Shaking my head, I head back to my classroom with a smile, but not before taking a glance at the locker again. It hasn't made a sound since.
Oh, must be the wind.
That is not the wind.
Because the wind can fucking knock on lockers, okay? Atheists,
what
you
are
may
we,
be
Tristan
atheist lady,
Wing?
but you're...
Sorry, you know, you say your thing, I'll say my thing.
I was just gonna say, she may be an atheist, but damn, she's stupid for an atheist.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so what I was gonna say, what are you, Tristan Winkler from, like, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged series sneaking up against a guard, with a suit of armor?
Oh my god.
Are you the guard that's, like, fooled by the suit of armor sneaking around?
Oh, well. Okay, then.
Oh god, someone had their period.
They must all belong to the ladies.
Not only that,
Damn.
but look at this. This is the only one that has consistent dripping. This one, not so much.
I hope one of them is not named Carrie.
Oh,
I'm just saying that now. All in all, the entire school day ends without a hitch. It could have gone better, mind you, but with the exams nearing, getting out of work before the sun has set looks as though it's a far-off dream for now.
Lockers.
At least until they're over, then we can have the holidays to look forward to. There really are times when you simply take what you can get for the time being.
Nothing wrong with that.
All I'm hoping for is this will continue until the whole day ends. There's still that promise I made to Ashton, and frankly, the idea alone doesn't sound good. If Isabella didn't talk to them, what makes them think she'll talk to me? It's not like there's a hierarchy, is there? Just because I can handle Isabella's childish tendencies doesn't mean I can do it all the time.
Really, those two give me too much credit.
Nevertheless, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, if only because I'm also worried about her. And both Zachary and Ashton deem it important that somebody get the story out of her. Here's to hoping it's got nothing to do with that letter, again. I understand if she feels a bit stressed lately, but keeping that story going on for more than a week is...
concerning?
It's bound to get tiring at some point.
Are you not going to acknowledge the fact that you saw bleeding lockers?
Yeah, no, she's...
My joke of the menstrual cycle aside, that's not normal.
She is so far in denial. She is down denial in fucking Egypt, okay? That's how far this lady's gone.
I mean, it's not like a horse went through and had a nosebleed, okay, on those lockers, alright? Okay.
Seriously, I merely don't want this to end in another argument. God willing, the cafe special will help smoothing things out.
Oh, she didn't see it herself. It happened when she went back into the classroom. But then why did I have to see it?
Well, she's still seeing the fucking lady, though.
Huh.
After all, it's always been food with her.
Or money.
Or money.
Yeah.
But mostly food.
She's like a dog in that respect. Well, look at us back here.
At this hour, the cafe is usually full to the brim with people.
I wonder if this is icing or marzipan on this one, the leaf one.
Not sure. That's the reason Isabella and I rarely go here during the evenings. Simply too much of a hassle when we can prepare food ourselves in the comfort of our homes, and there really isn't much reason to eat out lately. What with life going on a busy streak. No time for long lines, better spend that doing something productive, yes?
Lucky there isn't one tonight.
Oh, I see.
Weird.
In another path, instead of the lockers, it's something else. Spooks happen after. Once again, she walks away after being called. Basically, they just want to have a spook to remind us, ooh, scary. Well, mission accomplished, thanks. Yeah.
Four of them, in fact. A woman in her 60s and a teenager busy with his phone. Both are just waiting to be served their orders.
Oh!
Wow, Discord, you are really...
You know what? I can take over right now.
Okay.
The other two, a posh-looking man and a child who I immediately recognize as Kylie, appear to have not yet picked anything they want. Her huge eyes scare me. For some reason, my stare lingers at the guy. He doesn't have a dark aura around him right now.
Well, Lunar is freaking out now in the chat.
I didn't miss this glorious scene. Pick where it hurts. please? It's beautiful, apparently. Though dressed relatively well and looks harmless, I haven't seen him around these parts before. Someone new in the neighborhood, perhaps. Even so, there's something familiar about him. It feels like I've seen him somewhere before. That also begs the question of why Kylie is with him. Of course, the girl easily takes a liking to anyone who buys her sweets, so it's both a bit worrisome and unsurprising. The blonde bloke doesn't look particularly thrilled with the company, though. I turn my eyes away from them as soon enough, once the guy at the counter appears ready to take my order. That I'd also hate to be accused of ogling strangers.
2, evening special, takeout.
He's already punching in the order before I even finish. Saying my order out loud is really more for formality's sake and made out of habit. Why don't you get any of these cakes? I've been watching you guys eat regular foods. I have not seen you guys eat a cake yet. He also knows Isabella and I long enough to know that if we ever drop by here, he already knows it's always because I'm buying dinner for the two of us. I rarely visit here alone if I can help it, but Isabella can sometimes be a bad influence. Gives me a small smile before leaving to prepare my order while I fish for my Whirlwind.
Look, you little ankle biter. If I buy you the biggest parfait they have, will you please behave? I would just like 10 minutes of peace and quiet.
You said you'll get me some bread pudding this time.
Yeah, well, darling, they said they ran out of it. Just pick another one so we can be on our way.
Their parfait doesn't look as cute as the one my mom bought me.
Parfait is just ice cream, sweetheart. It'll melt no matter how dainty it appears. In the end, it'll all look like an ugly puddle. Now come on, just pick one. It could even be the most expensive one on that list. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
I don't give a
What
shit.
I would give for someone to buy you off my hands right now.
What? My whole attention instantly snaps back to them and their conversation. Jumping to conclusions is something I'm particularly fond of, especially when all I have are baseless assumptions. But you can't really trust a stranger these days. No one around the cafe seems to have noticed his words either. Very suspicious words. Still, I don't move. Yet. But my hand is already shifted from my wallet to the book I'm carrying. A hardbound textbook looks harmless, but if a situation calls for it,
It's
it
probably
might
the
be a
same
good
textbook
deadly
she
weapon.
fought Mariana over for.
I haven't gotten the chance to try it anywhere so far. Today could be the day.
You promised.
Look, if you don't want a parfait, how about a Bonifay pie? I'm sure it'll taste just as good as any other bread pudding. I'll even buy you the entire tray. How does that sound?
That's not what you said before.
Well, sweetheart, adults change their minds sometimes.
You said if I come with you, you'll buy me a bread pudding, and I did, and now you won't keep your promise. I want to go home. I miss my mom.
No, darling, if I remember correctly, and I have a good memory, honey. What I said was, if you come quietly with me, I might buy you one. The quiet part didn't happen. Though now that I'm sober, I think this is a bad idea. I should just ship you someplace else for that piece
Wait,
of
did he
quiet.
do this when he was drunk? Oh my god.
Oh, that's it. No hesitation. A few paces, he's within my reach, and without warning, I'm slamming the flat area of the book against his skull.
Ow!
There's a cry of pain,
nice!
followed by him instantly crouching.
10 points!
10 points!
And the crowd goes wild!
Ho, 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 ho! There's a cry of pain, followed by him instantly crouching down, hands nursing the sore spot. Almost comically, if this were a different situation and the safety of a St. Grady student isn't at stake, I'd probably feel sorry for him. I mean, has anyone seen how thick this book is?
Get behind me, Kylie.
I fought an Irish woman for it. It's amusing how fast her expression changes from the panty one earlier to something of utter delight upon seeing me. Please, I don't want to see you anymore. But there is no time for any pleasantries, not even quick ones, because soon the man straightens and I'm readying my favorite newfound weapon for another hit. Except this time he's ready, and before I can land one, his hand shoots up to catch my wrist in a firm hold. And the look on his
Bloody
face...
hell, woman! What's your problem?
To say he's pissed would be a complete understatement. Had I been a weak-willed sort, I probably would have cowered in his sharp gaze. But it simply isn't how I roll. We roll out! We roll out. If he thinks he can scare me and do as he pleases here, just because I'm a woman or whatever his reasons may be, he's got another thing coming to him. I missed the original version. He was originally coded to actually fall when he was hit. Oh, really?
Wow.
So instead, I return it to him with the same intensity, with the same
What's
venom.
my problem? You're the one who has a problem here. Rotten bowbags like you don't deserve the freedom to run this town. What are you doing to this girl?
And why is that any of your business, pray tell?
Oh, it's my business if I make it to be. Now, release me or I'll call the police.
You think that scares me, Daisy?
I'm a rose, very clearly.
I have a name, you sleazy douchebag.
Oh, I'm sure.
His grip on my hand only tightens when I attempt to shake it off. His tone may be dripping with anger and sarcasm, but the gleam of eye says it all. He's getting a kick out of this. Riling people up, getting on their nerves, invading their personal space. He knows exactly what and which buttons to push. The nerve of this person. The nerve of this asshole. If he thinks I'm going to give in to his goading, please, he might as well just kiss his sorry behind.
You have until the count of 5 to let me go and step out of my personal space.
Oh god! Fairer than any I can offer for people to this guy. I'm already beginning beyond considerate. Hell, this asshole doesn't even deserve a warning. If he doesn't listen, well, he's as much responsible for what will happen next as anyone.
Or else what? Such vulgar words coming out of that pretty mouth. A gorgeous flower like you shouldn't even be saying.
Don't say I didn't warn you, bowbag.
Love that intensity, Daisy. FYI,
See what I mean?
I like
He's turned
feisty
on
in
by
a woman.
women that stand-
It gives them this
Yeah.
certain charm. Why don't you?
5.
A second of silence. Then without any preamble, my nuts and bolts, I got an achievement.
Oh, God.
Then without any preamble, my leg moves in one fluid motion and delivers a swift, powerful, well-placed kick to his nether regions. Needless to say,
Yeah, we
he
get to hear it.
He yelps, abruptly drops his hold on me, and kneels over, howling from the pain. I see tears forming at his eyes, too, though the mere sight of it prompts not an ounce of remorse from me. It would have been gentler if it wasn't such a dirty little prick with an ego to boot for his head. Too bad. Whether this obliterates any chance of him ever procreating remains to be known. But part of me is already praying he doesn't ever breed after this. We have no need of more of him in this world.
You mad woman!
I warned you, you ass!
Why, this is harassment, I'm telling you! Harassment!
Then why don't you tell that to the police once they get here,
You despicable! Whatever you're assuming I am, I'll have you know it's all in your head. None of it's true. You best have that pretty brain of yours checked before that gets worse. What is wrong with you? Is this the face of someone who'd do anything suspicious?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh? You don't think a stranger luring an innocent child with promises of sweets before whisking them away from their parents doesn't warrant any suspicion? You have a very funny definition of suspicious, asshole. Maybe you're the one who should have that head of yours checked.
The kid asked me to buy her sweets. You're the one who's suspicious here. I'll have you know, I have a wife.
That much at least appears to have a sliver of truth to it. He even makes a show of brandishing his left hand to my face without much flourish. Sure enough, a wedding ring is there, though all that earned him is an unimpressed glare from me. Immediately, a small part of me starts to feel sorry for whoever or whatever. Poor woman married the sod. I don't understand why he has to bring her up either. As if the mention of her alone will magically present a solution to his problem. She must truly be a remarkable woman if she can handle a dirtbag like him.
And even my wife of all people in this bloody city, has never, I'm telling you, accused me of such a scandalous thing! You crazy woman!
Married or not, you're still a sleaze. Honestly, I feel...
Miss Pink, why are you fighting with my teal?
Hey, Kylie! Why the fuck didn't you say anything? You know, I can understand, Kylie. You got scared. Also, you know what? You know what I would have done, Miss Pink? What I would have done is I would have approached and said, Kylie, do you know this man?
Yep. Did she do that? Nope.
No. she did rush in. You love his dialogue in this scene. I love it too. I wish I would have saved beforehand, but meh. Whatever
It's okay,
word
you're
still
recording
left to
it
be
for
said here dies
posterity.
on my tongue. The same goes for the sleaze. Beside us stands Kylie, gawking at us with the same curious stare she often brings with her. You mean the fact that her head is overly big with overly big eyes?
Yes, someone,
I'm sorry, she doesn't look right to me.
Someone drew that!
She looks like a Bratz kid. Like a Bratz
She
doll.
looks like a Powerpuff Girl, only not right.
Oh, right. That too. Huh? The other choice is basically her claiming the R word. I don't know what the R word is, but meh. I know that
Retard?
look. Is that
Maybe?
the R word?
I mean, they claim it was stricken from the...
Oh yeah, a lot of people call Kylie the devil with how uncanny valley she looks. I know that look all too well. A precocious child through and through. Doesn't say anything further. Her gaze simply moves between us, eyeing us both carefully, coolly anticipating an answer. Ryan flew. Oh!
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
She would have shouted rape?
I get it. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, why is that called? Is that being censored now?
Well, you could probably get in trouble on Twitch for saying it.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I see. Okay. New rules all the time. From my experience, when it gets like this with children her age, it's a sure sign they won't leave you until you've given them an answer they're satisfied with. I won't do it either. It has dissolved into a shouting match, for heaven's sake. And did she just say Tio? That means uncle. Something falls straight to the pit of my stomach at that. But my tone was gentle. Is gentle when I finally address her, void of any apprehension and what might be the first hint of embarrassment. Rather be safe than sorry. You know what? Thanks, hon. I pointedly ignore the latter. It can very well be just the hunger speaking.
Kylie, sweetie.
Yes, let's blame
do you
the
notice
hunger.
This oaf?
Yeah, he's Teal Luke.
At that moment, my brain stops. Every line of thought, every argument I still have against the man beside me dissipates in a haze. Oh, this is the uncle. Oh man, amidst it all, one memory gets triggered from a few days ago.
Tio? The one you mentioned before? The uncle? The guy Rowan wanted to impress? Or was that a dare? I'm sorry, I can't recall.
Oh, didn't want to potentially get in trouble for typing the word. Never know what you'll get in trouble these days online. Well, you won't get in trouble here. Because you're not using it as a threat for anyone. You're just stating what would have happened.
That doesn't stop, like, automatic bots from going, oh, she said the word! Block her!
Yeah.
Or some shit.
But I don't have any bots, or at least I don't think I do. Well, anyway, better safe than sorry. You're right. Okay.
Is it the one who promised he'll take Big Brother someplace cool?
Yeah, the one and the same. Don't you know who he is?
No. I sure as hell don't, darling. Because if I do, I wouldn't let everything I said earlier come out of my mouth.
My Tio Luke, gazillionaire extraordinaire, am I? No, the fairy godfather.
He's your godfather. That's nice.
The one and only. Did I get that right, Tio?
More than right, sweetheart. I'm sure Miss Pink here understood everything you said quite perfectly.
Oh god, he's so smug about it.
The fairy godfather. Whatever it is
God.
that landed at the bottom of my stomach prior had shot straight up to my face and stayed there. The heat from it slowly spreading to my cheeks, coloring my face in almost the same shade of my hair. If only the earth would swallow me whole right here and now. His eyes are on me. I can feel them, jeering, mocking. I can't even bring myself to look at him. What's in there? Amusement? Yeah, I can see it. I can see it for you. He has amusement. He's got a hand on his hip, like, I got a fine ass. That kind of thing. I don't
Girl, you in trouble.
Yeah, you in trouble. What was that about the police again? Oh, what's that? I'm actually related to her. Oh, and you just need me in the quatch.
I love the baby talk. Oh my god.
Choice is affection. Purely up to you whether you want to bring it up or not. Wait, does that mean his affection goes up if you accuse him of rape?
Once again, he really likes women that stand up for themselves. Apparently.
You fucking creeper.
He really is.
He's probably having the time of his life right now. But I know I can hear the sneer in his tone alone when he talks. He has that smug grin on him. Which I may or may not want to punch off his face at present, just for the hell of it. Hey, you did the one thing. It's
He smacked him with a book.
But not as much as hitting him. You know what? Rebecca, you have to be proud of yourself. You're the one and only character out of all of this that need Luke right in the crotch. But damage control. Apologize to Luke, apologize to Kylie.
You know, this sounds dumb, but we should apologize to Luke.
Yeah. Oh, wow, that... okay. That
Wait, what
pain-
did it do?
Yeah, it went up.
I missed it.
It went up.
Okay. Yeah, I missed it because unfortunately Discord is not...
Yeah. Now, it pains me to apologize to a sleazebag like him. This is my mistake. With Kylie watching us close by, I don't want to set a bad example to it, do I? I'm surprised she grew up the child she is, if anything. I want to be the role model this man couldn't possibly become for her. Even if it means taking a few blows to my ego and stroking his insufferable one. Don't talk about stroking his ego.
That's what he names his penis. I wonder if my brother's still in the chat.
I don't know. Hey there, Rebecca. Are you gonna stroke my ego? Are you going to apologize for me? A deep gulp of air, a short moment to swallow my self-respect, and then I'm facing him. The words are out of my mouth in a single breath.
I'm really, really sorry, sir.
The bigger person.
I had no idea.
This smirk is impossible to miss. He's not making an effort to hide it. Even the smallest. How do you recover so fast after getting kneed in the crotch? That is a talent.
He probably has experience getting kneed in the crotch multiple times, a dick like him.
What's that, Rebecca? I couldn't kill you. Even the smile is so irritatingly present in his tone. If I could slap it off him, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
Now, it's an honest mistake, Daisy.
Stop it! I like that it's just sleazy douchebag.
Yep.
No,
Gotta love that
I
perspective.
really mean it. I actually thought you were... And then
It's fine now. It probably happens quite a lot to a few people who look suspicious to you.
Well, you do look suspicious.
Seems I'm one of them now. But don't go sleep over it.
I won't. In fact, I'll keep dreaming of me and you in the crotch over and over and over again.
Do be careful with that book, though. A little more and you would have dislodged my poor brain off my head.
Being him was worth it, though.
What would I ever do if that happens?
Die?
Yeah, precisely.
Oh no! Did it leave a mark or anything? If you want, we can have it checked. I'll handle the expenses if there's a need for it.
Now, what kind of man would I be if I let an attractive woman such as yourself do that? Why don't we just look at it this way? My forgiveness is coming from the utter goodness of my heart.
He wants something from you later.
Yeah.
He's so full of himself. Exactly the kind of person I'll happily leave to die in a ditch somewhere.
Of course, sir. Why didn't I think of it that way?
I know, right? But even someone as capable as you is bound to have a few lapses. No harm done, Daisy. Let's move on from this.
Well, if you're going to put it like that, then I guess there's nothing left for us to talk about.
I figured as much.
Awkward. The whole exchange is nothing but an awkward display of fake pleasantries.
Well, I mean, flake pretty much means the same thing, more or less.
One that brings much agony to the very pride I've been willingly held back a while ago. I might need a drink later so I can forget any of this ever happened. Who would have thought the time would come when I'd meet someone tougher to handle than Isabella? Miracles of miracles, I swear. You know what, lady? This was a tough guy to deal with. You know what you need? You need a cake.
Yes.
Buy yourself a cake.
There's plenty of cakes right there.
Right here. I'm thinking this one right here. This one looks like a good one. It's chocolate. That one, or maybe this one. It's a sheet cake. But you know what? Maybe you want something smaller. One of the roll cakes down here is pretty good. I personally like the pink one all the way down here in the corner. It must be raspberry or strawberry flavored. Most likely with a chocolate base. I suggest it. You'll love it.
She knows what she's talking about. She's a baker.
Though to my surprise, he, proffers? I've never seen that word.
It is either a typo or something in UK that we don't understand.
Me a hand shortly after. Before they leave for a shake, I realize after a long minute of staring at it, I accept it, albeit half-heartedly. All of that goodwill that small dresser represents melts into thin air when he winks at me. Would have been...
Yeah, supposedly we could ship these two together. According to what Lunar said before.
The gall of this man. However, there's no moment to ponder about it. It must be a crack thing. There's no way. Seconds later, the guy at the counter waves over and hands me a paper bag as soon as I've paid. You know what? I think there is white chocolate in that roll cake. It looks like a roll cake. I'm thinking that it could be a white chocolate filling, you know? That or a white chocolate raspberry filling. I really want a roll cake right now. I want to make one, actually. He offers me another smile before I leave. You gotta be careful with roll cakes, though.
Yeah.
Normally I return it for the sake of returning it. Or I don't at all.
So Lunar answered the question about offer. Copy pasta. Hold out something to someone for acceptance. Offer.
Oh.
So it's an actual word. Go figure.
Make me want sweets. You know, I didn't make it, but I helped assemble it with my mother. We made a vegan chocolate cake just a couple days ago for my dad's birthday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's fantastic, actually. You can't really tell that it's vegan. The most that you can tell is like through the texture itself, but the texture isn't too off-putting. The only thing you have to worry about with vegan baked stuff is that they dry out very easily. So this is the second day.
Yeah, because you're taking out most of the liquid, which is the milk and the egg and whatnot.
Exactly. Well, the egg is what really keeps it moist. For the time being, I do so freely, or at least the egg is what keeps it moist for a long period of time. The egg with the yolk with it is actually what makes the cake so dense in the first place.
Yeah.
That's why when you're making light cakes, oftentimes you skip the yolks. After that encounter in the scene we've caused, seeing this man right here, this faceless man with just glasses, means a lot to me.
How's your face? Oh, I see you're missing it.
How's your face? Oh, it's gone. Huh, good to know.
I'm gonna get it back at some point.
You know, the face sealer is up and about, he's taking our faces. If it isn't the Anselm Butcher, it's the face stealer. It feels like a reassurance, despite bearing no promise for better days.
Crazy cursed lady coming after us. Oh, that's scary. Face stealer? Meh.
Meh. I mean, he just steals your face. At least I'm really good at poker now.
Also, ventriloquism is like the best.
I take well with me as I step out into the night. You know, before we go, I don't know if we'll come back here again, but this painting right here with the mouse, with the cross on his freaking head, reminds me a lot of a Hunter x Hunter character named Crollo Lucifer, who also has a cross on his head.
Oh boy. I wonder if that's a reference. You never know.
I have no idea. She prepares a plan to use it in cakes to make it moist. She told me this recently. I've been searching and experimenting for years. You know, one of the best ways to keep some cakes and brownies moist is honestly using pudding mix into it. I used it with a chocolate cake, and my goodness, did it stay? It was a bit gelatinous, because it's pudding, but it did stay moist. A cloudless night sky greets me when I walk out of the cafe. Beyond the tall buildings, a blanket of stars spreads out before me. Isabella once told me that the best place to view it is someplace outside the city, away from the noise and obstructive lights. She'd seen it once in her mom's hometown, and another time in the university she used to attend. Then she asked me if it's possible to try it out here sometime. Huh. Oh, you tried the pudding mix. Keep experimenting. I agreed with her at the time, if only because she appeared excited at the mere prospect of it. We made those little plans along with Zachary and Ashton. Though up until now, we never got around to it. I just want to save right now.
I'm gonna go to bed, guys.
Okay.
Oh god, you're still here.
You missed the ass kicking.
Oh, did I?
Yes. We need a guy in the nads. In his ego.
Oh.
He was a jackass.
Alright, well, good night.
Good night. Even so, I find myself enjoying this despite being told it's only half of the experience. Little things, you know, stuff you learn to appreciate when you're alone. Because at certain times, you get to meet people who are unfortunately born with the innate talent to ruin the mood and the scene with their mere existence alone. AKA Luke Wright.
Yep.
For example, the very driver of the car fast approaching my direction. Luckily, he doesn't notice me, but the fleeting moment we pass each other gives me a brief glance at the people he's with. Wow! Kylie's sitting on the back seat with a serving of bread pudding in her hands. And beside him must be his wife. It takes a turn and disappears at the nearest corner.
Only gets a glimpse.
Yeah, that ain't his wife. But throughout the night, that cursory glimpse of all things that bother me has left me wondering what kind of person his wife is. Possessed at this point. And more than that, a silent prayer to the universe. I hope I don't ever cross paths with that douche again. Don't worry, you will.
Yep.
I wonder if we'll see her, room. After having such an eventful day, anyone will think nothing will surprise me anymore. But here I am, standing at the top of the stairwell, watching an odd scene unfold before me. Relief crosses my mind first, followed by confusion.
What is she doing there?
This was before the party. Although, given what happened this morning, the question feels a bit inappropriate to ask directly. What's important is Isabella's here. Sitting cross-legged on the hallway, right? In front of her room with several papers and folders scattered about. Each of them seems as important as the next. More than once, upon giving the scene a quick scan, I spot Briar's Realty logo at the topmost area of the pages. Everything considered, it looks like a mess made by a third grader working on crunch time. The landlady will have a few things to say about this as she finds out. I have a few things to say about this. In fact, but something in the calm, focused manner she holds herself at present keeps me from disturbing her with that reminder. She's going through each paper with this intensity. Her brows are furrowed, lips in a tight line, both of her hands moving in precise movements as she shifts through each sheet. When she finds something of note, she moves closer. It was almost touching whatever paper she's holding, grabs her phone to call someone.
Hello. Sorry to call you this late. There's something I just want to confirm, if that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Thanks anyway. Not that one either.
It's a cycle. She goes through call after call, then after the last one in, she shuffles through the pile again and dials another number. Does it work? I've never seen her this engrossed with her own work before. Otherwise, she would have noticed my presence the moment I've reached our floor. That's the 9th call. She appears as oblivious to as I've arrived. When she lets out a loud sigh this time, I immediately take it as an opportunity to interrupt.
Isabella, you know the house rules here.
And once her head jerks back and hits the concrete wall behind her with a thump. I've done that before, but with like... So, I was sitting in the cafeteria with my kids. And it was time to go, and I was like, okay, let's go, real boom. And there was a pipe over me. And my head cracked on it. Well, it hurt a lot. Luckily, I wasn't, like, bleeding, but, like, oh god, like, I felt my brain move on that one. I was moving so quickly. Here's, the Isabella I know. Glad she's still there. I allow her a moment to nurse it back before speaking again. I actually hit my head, a couple of days ago.
Really?
I was, listening to music and I was rocking back and forth, but I rocked back too far and my head collided with the wall.
Ow. I hope you're okay after that.
Yeah.
Becca, you're late.
Yeah, I ran into a little trouble at the cafe. But I brought food for the two of us, if you haven't eaten anything yet.
As anticipated, she grins once I erase the bag of food I'm holding. And it doesn't reach her eyes. There's nothing of the cheerful glint in it this time. Just a hollow tone for the sake of being polite. Ashton's right. Something's happened. She just had a brush with death a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
Actually, multiple times.
Maybe later. I've got to finish this first. Just leave it here. I'll eat it once I'm done.
You know, it's, you know how some people wish for, like, the innocence to leave for some people and they just wish that they could just grow up like the rest of them? But the moment that you see that innocence gone, that glint gone, you regret it. Because you're like, oh, it's happened to you now.
Yeah, more or less.
That's not to say that that glint can never be brought back, but when it's gone, when you're so used to seeing it, I feel like it makes you wish for something like that to have never happened in the first place.
Yeah, but then why do you wish for it to happen if it's so...
I think people wish for it to happen. I think people wish for it to happen is because maybe they want it. They want it back, and they want you to bring. Come
no,
down
I
with
mean,
them.
why would they wish for that innocence to go to begin with? Is what I'm saying. And then it happens, and then they regret it. Why? Why would you do that?
I don't know, Jill. It's just something that I've noticed Rebecca do. All this time she's comparing Isabella to a child.
Yeah,
and
it's
how
kind
much
of
she
annoying
hated
that she
it.
does that.
And how much she hated it. And it's like, I have to be the responsible one. I have to do this. I have to do that. But the moment that she sees that it's gone, I feel like she's regretting it. Because she's realizing that that was what was part of Isabella's charm. And now that it's gone, it's very worrying.
Yeah, and I'm annoyed at Rebecca for wanting her to be somebody different and honestly not taking her word for the shit she tried to warn her about.
Yeah. And so, it's just an observation that I've noticed, and I've seen people do it, you know? Like offhand comments, but when it happens, you're like, oh. Shit.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just these things happen as bouts of jealousy or bouts of like maybe yearning for yourself, that you wish that you were a bit like that still.
I know in Rebecca's case, she probably feels bitter that she was always raised to be responsible and so probably didn't feel like she had a proper childhood.
Yeah. At the same time, no one can stay innocent forever. But when the glint is gone, it hurts to see it.
Thanks, Becca. You can't eat this here. You know how the landlady would react. Why are you even working outside? Your room's right there.
I know. Sorry. It just feels stuffy in my apartment right now.
The reason why we don't want to be in there is because we're afraid that the lady's going to come and hug my neck again.
Yeah.
I'll
like
go
that,
back inside once everything's been aired out. I promise.
That has never bothered you before.
Well, it bothers me now.
Oh, really? Just now? I find that hard to believe.
Yeah? Shouldn't you be happy? I mean, you've been complaining even if it's not your room. Now I know how you're feeling when it's messy, so I'm going to clean. Isn't that a good thing?
Despite what's supposed to be good news, an Excel comes from me, drawn out in
It's a good thing, Isabella. Believe me. But you're as bad as Zachary at lying. What's really going on?
She isn't going to tell you. She already told you, and you brushed her off. She hastily averts her eyes, a surefire indicator that there's going to be one of those lengthy conversations that could possibly end with the other person angry. Again, it's one thing I like to avoid tonight at all costs. But still, I've made a promise to Ashton and Zachary. If she didn't talk to them, who else is she going to talk to if she keeps this all to herself? Who knows what might happen?
Isabella, you can tell me.
She did tell you.
Is it about your family?
Slight movement of her lips, although a frown is a reaction at the least. I'm getting there.
Rose?
She really shakes her head. Just a little more.
Come on, I know something happened. I don't know if it's because of Rose, but I know it's related to her somehow.
Someone tried to kill her. Like multiple times.
You weren't here when I visited this morning, and both Zachary and Ashton are worried about you. Does it have something to do with work? Office?
If I didn't know her, I might have missed it. She's just thin. Her fist clenched tight and teeth biting her lower lip, and then there's fear. The look of terror in her is the last thing I expected to see out of everything. Her mouth trembles briefly when she opens them. When she finally voices it out, the words simply spill out of her mouth. Just one after the other. All of it. True to what I've promised her, I listened. Because this is something she's been keeping to herself. And even from the two most dependable people I know. The fact she chooses to tell me, this speaks a lot to me.
Becca, she was there again. Last night? In the office? Boss passed me all of Rose's Lurk Load yesterday. For the Ermengarde mansion. I had to stay late to finish them all. And then, when I was about to go home, I saw her. I saw her again. She was standing in front of me again last night, Becca. I couldn't get away. She was blocking the door. If I hadn't hidden myself, even if I made the tiniest noise, if she found me, Becca, she almost did. If she saw me under my table, I think that would have been the end of it.
It would have been.
I'm scared. I'm so scared I won't be able to do anything.
By the end, her hands are trembling and her breathing comes on raspy intervals. For a moment, the silence stretch out between us. Let her sobs fill it instead. But even as her soft whimpers died down, minutes later, there's the heaviest hanging in the air. Not just from her, but also from me. From my exasperation over this whole matter. From my own frustrations over her stupid superstitions. When she could do us all a favor and grow a backbone. Shut up. Lady. She may be young, but she's no longer that young. It's about time to put an end to this. Can't keep going on like this. She's got plenty of years to live out. And what if she goes home? What if we're no longer there to keep her fears in line with what's real? I don't like reading this. What would she do then? More afraid for her, or what kind of imagination will do to her, than of what some imaginary Yeah, lots of readers hate Rebecca.
Yeah, no fucking wonder.
Yeah. But with the manner she's looking at me right now, there's an expectation in it, a hope, a plea sewn together. She wants me to believe in her this time. If it's like that, then what am I supposed to say now? Is this why you didn't go home last night? As much as I want to let her say, a reprimand isn't what she needs right now. Yeah. With the patty face she's giving me, I doubt it'll even end well if I push it. I know her. When she wants to be stubborn, she's stubborn. But there's moments where she could be acquiescing too. Times when she'll be more accepting of what I'll tell her, despite her inclination to disagree with it. Go home. Up again. Down? What? That talk can wait. Okay.
They're probably just the next couple of choices to make.
In the meantime, I'll be the ear that listens to her without judging her, without criticizing her, despite my own opinion.
You should have called me.
She stares at me like I've grown another head, and laughter slips out before I can stop myself.
There? I can't do that! What will you do? Hit her with a book? You'll be dead before that happens. And
that isn't what I'm talking about. After you got out, you should have phoned me. You didn't have to go to Zachary's.
Corners of her mouth curl up, a sheepish smile, by general definition. But this is Isabella. Her smiles are never half-hearted, never lax in her high spirits. In spite of this, I know everything is going to be okay. Somehow. After all, she's learned how to pick herself up long ago. Long before we met.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I don't even remember how I ended up in Zach's place. I was in a hurry to get out of the office, and it was already late. Besides, I don't really think you'll believe me if I wake you up over something like that.
That's beside the point. True or not, there are people who will always be concerned about you. There's Zachary, but he's the first person you went to, and you didn't tell him anything. You just slept there. There's Ashton too, and me. But how do you think I'll be able to explain to your aunt or your family if you suddenly disappeared? Think about that.
Right. I'll remember that next time.
And she grins. Playful, mischievous, a preamble to an old banter. Still not quite there. Still not quite her usual self, but with it, I know we're bound to get her back soon.
Mom!
I told you not to call me that.
This is what's comfortable. This is how we found equal ground before, despite how different we are. For the moment, I accept things as they are. Afterwards, a hush stretches out before us. For Isabella, this is rare. This isn't her. Yet, in the moment, she fiddles with the edge of another paper near her, and she hugs her knees close to herself and lets a pensive expression linger on her. It feels strangely fitting, as if this is where everything's supposed to lead to if we allowed it long ago. Seconds later, the moment is broken by the sound of a door easing open and a voice begging for a little peace.
How many times have I told you girls not to loiter around the hallway? It's noisy. Some people here are trying to sleep. Quiet down or go do your talking inside. I'm pinning a memo to your door the next time this happens. Millennials.
Shut up.
Sorry, we won't do it again.
You'd better.
Door closes and Isabella starts gathering the mess she's made, carefully stacking them all in her arm. At a loss of what to do, I help her pick them up. And for the first time, I get a closer look at it. Completely unintentional, of course. But it catches my attention nevertheless, and a confused frown makes my way to my face. Why is she looking through this? I look for her for an explanation. She merely ignores my question in my eyes and takes the paper off my hands and finishes cleaning up. The last paper she puts on top is a letter, the one she supposedly found in the mansion. What's probably the root of this odd behavior. I shoot her a questioning look for that too. All she gives me is a smile. And in a halting tone, so completely unlike
Becca,
herself.
I'll find a way out of this. You guys don't have to worry about me. Anyways, I should go. I'll see you later.
Where are you going?
Getting myself some food. Don't wait for me.
But we brought you food.
Yeah.
Okay, she walks away before I can stop her. Before I can remind her I brought food enough for the two of us. She quickly disappears down the stairwell, while I'm left standing in an empty hallway holding 2 bags of takeout. One of them will go uneaten tonight. Just an innocent passing thought. One that I don't dwell on much as I head back to my own room. Okay, do we get to see what your room looks like? I guess not. I ignore all of it. In the same way I've assumed I will ever encounter that douche again. Hey look! The face sealer has struck again.
Oh no!
And the brief lull of the past 2 days has offered is nice while it lasted. Or as nice as it can get with worries of Isabella's whereabouts creeping up to me every now and then. She didn't shut up after the last time we talked. And the dinner I brought had been given to a different neighbor before it spoils. By all means, it shouldn't have been anything to be sleeping over. She's gone on work trips before, usually for a day or two. This might simply be one of those. Although it's often with a message saying exactly where. But it's the dour note she has ended our last chat with that novice.
Like an ugly premonition.
And as expected, just as things start to settle and a steady rhythm finally warms its way back to my routine, Thursday mornings bring further disturbance to the now calm waters. With little ceremony, there's still enough to ripple through everything. Could you read for me a little bit? I need to rest my voice.
Yeah. In retrospect, I really should have seen this coming. Luxembourg is a small city, relatively speaking. Compared to, say, London or Glasgow, it's nothing but a tiny mass of land boasting a mere population of 68,000. Those numbers alone are nothing to scoff at when standing in a busy street. And if you pay close enough attention, faces taking the crosswalk or riding the subway will soon grow familiar. That's if they even kept their faces. Yeah. Now, unfortunate that out of that number, it has to be Theo fucking Luke I encounter more than once.
Oh, wait.
Oh, you know, a few problems popping up here and there that the agents failed to tell us somehow. Nothing a few hired hands can't fix, of course. I would have preferred a place near the city and something that's new to save us all the trouble, but darling wife insisted. Who am I to say no?
Ah, are you kidding me?
His smug head is the first thing I see upon turning into the hall, in spite of the small crowd of parents and students gathered at the corridor for the primary's career day. Not that he stands out, he's pretty unremarkable at first glance, frankly. However, his countenance that draws people's eyes to him. It's his countenance. The manner he carries himself with all the confidence in the world, his mere presence dwarfing everything now, I was right, around him. I'm willing to make a bet he's also enjoying the attention it garners him, especially the ones coming from the women.
What an ass.
A single glance at him, and I know immediately that one way or another, if we ever bump into each other again, my day will effectively be ruined in some capacity. He also exudes that air. That sort that makes you want to run him over with a lorry and pass it off as an unfortunate accident.
Oh no, it was an accident. I swear I didn't mean to run him over.
With him, it's either you want to punch him or let yourself be charmed. There's no in between. I'll gladly do the honor of the former myself, but alas, there are people around us. I'm stuck with having to face one of the two.
I shouldn't have volunteered.
At the time, helping out sounded like a good idea. I've no classes left today until after lunch. I could have opted to stay at the teacher's lounge and work on my lesson plans, but that means being left alone with our deputy head and his chatter. He's a good man, but crivens, he can talk anyone's ears off. So in the moment of opportunity, simple task to boot. Just deliver a whole box of materials and a few posters for the event. Maybe stay around to assist if time will allow it. I just wasn't expecting him to show up here. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. Had I known, I would have stayed and suffered through our deputy's impromptu speeches about his life crisis instead. What's done is done. Going back is also out of the question. With how unexpectedly heavy the load I'm carrying is, I'd hate to lug this for a trip back just because of my pride. Can't take another second of interaction with the guy. My goodness. It doesn't help that Discord's a bit blurry with this, so...
Yeah.
He's insufferable, alright, but I've had my fair share of dealings with teens of more or less the same temperament, all considerably younger than him, and they listened. If he wants to be difficult like last time, so be it, but he can bet his sorry English ass I'm not standing down. Left with no other choice, I brace myself and suck in a breath, mustering every bit of patience I have as I step into the hall. My grip on the box tightens when I pull it closer to me and attempt to assume a low-key air as I amble towards the room. The box is not big enough to hide my face, even with the stuff piled on top, but if all else fails, I could just hit him with it. That works. Still, a small prayer forms in my head. If there's even one listening out there, please grab me enough restraint.
It's funny when atheists pray. Okay, what are you praying to? You don't believe in anyone.
Nothing. You don't believe in nothing. Other than the luck god.
Yeah.
Yes. Better yet, I hope he doesn't notice me at all. That'll definitely make my life easier. Seriously, how hard can it be? I'm standing a few ways from the door, and there are plenty of people between us to use for cover. If I'm careful, I can just go in, hand in the stupid box to whoever's in charge, forget every plan of staying longer than necessary, and step out as soon as I can. Easy as pie. But as luck would have it, the exact moment I reach the room's threshold, someone barrels toward me. She latches onto my waist before topping the sudden commotion with a gleeful squeal.
God dang it, Kaylee.
I knew it's you!
The force of it nearly throws me off balance, sending the item stacked atop the box tilting dangerously to the sides. With the child's added weight at my waist pinning me on the spot, and both my hands occupied, watching is the only thing I'm able to do. The short seconds in between slows as everything gradually slides off the box's small surface. Under different circumstances, this would have made for a funny story some other time. Comical, even. Until another set of hands reaches out and steadies the posters, threatening to take a nosedive right to the floor.
Oh no. Careful now, Daisy. Don't make a mess here.
My entire body freezes. Upon hearing his voice alone, an irrational impulse to hit him immediately bubbles up. But before my limbs could catch up with what my brain is currently screaming at me, he moves to take the burden off my arms. Irritation gives way to surprise. Then confusion. It is in that moment when instinct finally kicks in and I tug the box closer to me before he can fully lift it up.
What are you doing?
What does it look like? You're surprisingly slow on the uptake for someone of your profession, aren't you? Bloody, doesn't this school have people for this kind of work? So much for being a center of academic excellence.
I'm going to ignore that slight to my alma mater and my work, because that's not what I'm trying to get at. You know what? Why don't we just rephrase that to something you'll easily understand? Why exactly are you doing this?
Well, you look like you could use a bit of help. Have you seen your face while you were heaving this around?
Mister, I'm pretty sure if there's ever a look on my face, it's entirely because I saw something extremely unpleasant this morning.
Aren't you a ball of sunshine today, Daisy? Having a bad day, aren't we?
Oh, you have no idea.
I'd put it away if I were you. You might scare the children.
You don't have to worry about that. This isn't my department. I was just asked to bring these. Anyway, I can handle this myself, mister. The room's just right over there. Behind you, in fact. Now, if you could please move over and make way, it would do the whole world some good.
Keeping my voice level throughout is a miracle in itself, but regardless of how polite my request is, he doesn't budge. Did what I've just said merely fly over his head? Were my choice of words really that difficult to comprehend? Surely it shouldn't be that hard. I think he might be a little touched in the head. I'd like to ask him that, actually, but Kylie chooses that instant to pipe in.
Don't worry, Miss Pink. Tio's strong. You can leave this to him. My papa does it lots of times, but I'm not allowed to talk about it to anyone.
What? What?
Why would you not be allowed to talk about it, Kylie? Is there something you want to share with the class?
That's just concerning to me.
Kylie? Darling, what have you seen?
Tio says
Confidential, Munchkin.
Okay. Okay. He's illegal contraband, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it.
That's right! Tio's smart, isn't he, Miss Pink?
I don't want want to look at you, Kylie.
I'm still of the opinion that he's a piece of shite, but I must admit his goddaughter's excitement. I thought it was gonna say excrement for a minute, and I would have been like, no, that's not the appropriate word. Excitement is contagious, as always. Oh my god. A smile makes its way to my lips. She has yet to budge from her place, though, to be honest. I'm starting to lose some feeling on my stomach with how tightly she's wound her arms around it.
I'm sure he is, Kylie. But I'm also sure he'll find better use for it elsewhere.
Like helping you out.
Oh, well, that's one thing, but...
You heard the kid.
No one's asking you.
You wound me, woman.
And I'm quite certain I can do more damage than that. Shall we give it a try? Again?
He pales, stammers for a minute until he ultimately decides against saying anything and settles for a brief show of discomfort instead. Oh god, he is recoiling. Look at that face.
God, her height engagement bugs me so much, but I know the other option would be her being covered by the textbook. Wait, what? I can cover her with a textbook? Where?
He's probably having flashbacks of the last time we met. His composure when he finally regained some of his bearings says it all. It's nothing short of hilarious, if I do say so myself.
I'll have you know that threats never work on me, Daisy.
But they did.
Not in a million years. Not ever.
You're assuming it's a threat. How cute.
That too. I'm not scared of you. Just because you wanted a hit.
Do go on. Keep telling yourself that.
It was a fluke, you hear? I was caught off guard and your damn book left a dent. If I end up in a hospital because of what you did, I'm sending the chief of Luxburg Police after you, woman.
You don't say.
Just give me that bloody box.
Oh my god. He snatches it out of my arms before a single word of protest exits out of my mouth and quickly disappears behind the classroom. Not that it matters who brings it in now, my prior irritation has already melted into amusement. He's not so bad once you figure out how his temperament works. It's almost similar to a child. Though I still have to
Kylie,
ask.
did your Tio eat something bad before coming here? He's unusually nice today.
A far-fetched idea, I know, but it's the only reason I can think of why this arsehole is suddenly acting like a decent human. He's, quite frankly, far from being. Well, I don't think you know this, Rebecca, but people have depth.
Yeah.
No matter how much of an asshole somebody is, there's always going to be the few occasions where they actually will do something nice. And you know what? Sometimes people aren't all asshole. They can be quarter asshole. They can be fifth asshole. They can be half asshole.
They can be 95% asshole and have that 5% redeeming quality.
Exactly. I mean, why do you think some assholes get married? Because the person that married them in the first place really liked that 5%.
Yeah.
First and foremost, we didn't end our last meeting on a good note. If I were him, I'd avoid the very person who put a dent in his skull, as he so aptly put it. Why is he acting friendly 2 days later?
He always is. But I made him promise to be extra nice to you since you helped me so much. I think you're gonna be great friends.
Are her eyes uneven?
They look uneven.
I quickly stopped the urge to groan loudly or gag at that. He's the last person I ever want to be chummy with in this whole city, but Kylie doesn't need to know that.
Are you sure it's not something he ate during breakfast?
I gave him some jelly babies this morning.
Ew.
Really brought me lots of them. Mama said I should share, so I offered half of it to Tio when he picked me up.
I know it's a cute name, but it's just the thought that they're actually just like little babies that you eat kind of creeps me out, actually.
He likes the black ones.
Of course he does.
Oh, but eating gummy worms there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, that's...
No, I get it.
Probably why he's weird. Jelly baby overdose.
Could have done everyone a favor and choked on them while he's at it.
Do you want some? I've got more. I couldn't find Melody or Takako this morning, but I'm sure they'll be fine sharing some of it with you.
No, I'm not really very fond of them. I was just asking. Oh, where's your mum, by the way?
Out of town with Papa.
Unexpected pang hits me at our words. The statement, though innocent enough, unearths a whole trunk of memories from childhood. So eerily familiar. Please stop staring at me. Nights spent eating dinners alone, the number of days coming home to an empty house, growing up with each passing year. You know what? I kind of know this feeling. And sometimes several Christmas Eves spent with relatives instead of my own family. That, not so. Okay. It's too late to think about it now, but when I remember, the dull ache is still there. Familiar, though lessened by the years now. Beside me, Kylie takes a step back. Haven't forgotten tired of clinging to me. There's nothing but cheer in her. She doesn't seem too affected by the fact. Oh, interesting what? What's interesting, Lunar sister? Although it makes me wonder how much of it is real and how much there is a mask of loneliness, if there's ever one. What a lucky job.
Weren't they informed of career day beforehand?
Yeah, I told them all about it. Mama was looking forward to it.
And they still left?
Uh-huh. It's important business, so it can't be helped. They promised to tell me about it when they come back tomorrow, though. Papa said he'll give me a gift if I behave.
Wait, what if it's not contraband that Papa does? What if Papa's a killer?
I mean, it would consist of a lot of lifting if it's, you know, dead bodies he has to dispose of.
Oh wow, so this is the Jelly Babies' history. They were originally called Unclaimed Babies?
Oh my god, that's even darker!
By 1918, they were produced by Bassett's in Sheffield as peace babies to mark the end of World War I. Production was suspended during World War II during wartime shortages. There's apparently more, but like... God, but it's still such a creepy thing. The Unclaimed Babies, I think, kind of takes the cake for that, though. I think I prefer Jelly Babies compared to Unclaimed ones.
Yeah, because that just makes it sound like a dumpster baby.
Well, it makes it sound like that we're eating babies that were, like, left to rot.
Yeah.
You always are. But they asked that douche, they asked your Tio to look after you? For this?
Nope, they didn't.
No? Then how?
It was supposed to be Tia. Mama likes her better than Tio, so she asked her, but she's sick and had to visit the doctor today. Oh, that's supposed to be a secret, by the way. Oh, but I think it's a bit confusing because Tio said she also went shopping. That's unfair. Don't you think so, Miss Pink? Mama doesn't allow me to go out when I'm sick. It's still okay, though, since Tio always buys me sweets before we go home. I'm gonna ask for a parfait today. Extra large.
This child is spoiled.
Don't tell Takako, okay?
Yeah, I don't like her. I mean, she's sweet. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, it doesn't help that she was possessed by the fucking devil.
No,
and,
it doesn't.
You know,
it doesn't. I'm just expecting
Zachary's.
her freaking face to change, actually. Okay, listening to her like this, it's easy to get a picture of where Kylie's fondness for the guy comes from. Yeah, he bribes her.
Dang, she looks evil.
She looks evil. She's not right. She's far from a demanding child, unless you've made a promise of some sort. She never forgets those. She'll make friends with anyone wherever she is. Apparently, she's a Mary Sue. But I know kids like this, too. Buy her a few things, and voila, you're settled. No wonder she's so attached to the man. The douche probably showers her with gifts whenever he can. Can't say if the sentiment's the same for the latter, however. Doesn't seem the type. Probably just does it for the sake of getting some peace and quiet whenever he's with the girl. Classic techniques.
But before that, I'm gonna show him to everyone first. It's gonna be great. No one else has a gazillionaire fairy godfather.
Oh, hi, Dane.
No, no one else does.
Also, when I grow up, I'm gonna be exactly like him and marry someone really handsome.
Don't.
Like Tia did. That way, I can be awesome too.
Some sort of misguided logic in there that I'd like to correct. Before I can say my piece, douchebag steps in, fresh out of the commotion from the classroom behind us, and plows the conversation with every subtlety of a wrecking ball. No shite given, despite no one asking for his
Munchkin,
opinion.
sweetie, trust me. You don't have to marry someone for that to happen.
I don't?
Just do your thing, darling. I'm quite sure you can do great things on your own without lugging around an extra baggage with you.
Oh, wow, thanks. Oh, so Hannah's just extra baggage too. I see how it is.
Tia married you.
Ali drops the same without any sort of preface. And the moment it lands, the douche finally finds himself grappling with the conversation.
Well, that's true, Munchkin, technically, but it's not the same thing.
Small frown creases the girl's eyebrows, and she tries to comprehend her Tio's rather vague explanation. It's not surprising either when Luke tenses under the child's questioning gaze. Yeah, it's familiar. I've seen the same look a great deal of times before, on Ashen, whenever he's trying to say something he can't quite phrase. And then a second passes before the douche moves, kneeling in front, placing both his hands on either side of her shoulders. The kind is the last word I'll ever use to describe a man, but in this minute there's a smile on his face I can't place tender by all means if for someone as obnoxious as him. Heartwarming scenes start. It's a curious thing to see, if not a bit.
Listen here, sweetie. Tia was already a great person before she met me.
She is? But I don't see her doing anything. She's always at home.
Not always, Munchkin. Did you know she's really good at numbers?
You're good with them too. You helped me with my homework once.
Well, Tia's much, much better than me. She used to do maths with big numbers.
Oh, like millions?
No, gazillions. And she's really, really good at it. So much so that her dad let her manage anything that had to do with it. That was even before she met me, too.
Does that mean she's better than you?
Oh, leagues, Munchkin.
Wow.
Way better than I'll ever be.
Aww. Aww. You know, when it comes to Hannah, he's actually got some redeeming feelings of, you know.
Well, what did I say before? Not everyone is a 100% douchebag. They can be quarter, a fifth.
I mean, when they are being an asshole and karma strikes them down, though, it is satisfying.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, what we're seeing is the 10% of a good person he is.
Yeah, basically.
For some reason, I don't think he's talking about his wife's mathematical prowess as his voice trails off. In fact, if I'd not been paying closer attention, I would have noticed a change in him. A slight shift in his smile, from one that's tended to something wistful, like remembering a memory he's always been fond of, but often kept to himself.
At this point, she's probably possessed, right?
Grew from 5% to 10%. Well,
his heart grew three sizes that day. Too bad it was small as balls.
Listen, it was 5% before. It grew to 10 because he wasn't in his wife's presence when he did this. Okay? This means that whatever he thought about her before wasn't something to make her happy. Like, in order to get his way.
This is something he genuinely
This is something he generally thinks and is telling other people. He could have been bashing her. She's not here. He could have easily showered her name in mud in this scene. He didn't.
No, not yet. You'll know when it's partly time.
Yeah, when it's party time.
Oh.
Huh. But anyway, that's why I said,
Oh yeah, she's a bitch.
Anyway, that's why I said he has 10% good and the other is just ass. Opinions changing, impressions moving.
You know what? Why don't you ask Tia next time you have homework,
Oh, you're right. It does look like that we have a furry in the classroom. Look at that. The students...
They identify as a pony.
Yeah.
Okay, next time I'll ask her to help out.
See? No need to marry a good-for-nothing bloke.
Referring to himself.
Can I also tell her to not stay at home anymore?
90% ass, so why is he not dummy thick? Oh, he is. He is. You see his hand right here on his hip?
I don't know, maybe his
Tia's
wife
good at it,
got that.
I'm sure she can help you out too. And Papa. He computes a lot of numbers too. Tia can help him.
You go do that. I'm sure she'll love to hear it, Munchkin, even if it's been a while since.
A bit of silence from him, then without missing a beat, he turns to Kylie around and lightly pats her shoulder in a gesture to end their conversation right here and there. Probably before he can say other things he's never intended to say to a child is not meant to.
But off you go first. I think I saw your friend run off to the other classroom. The one with the pigtails? Go say hi to her. You still have those jelly babies to give her, yes?
All right, but wait for me, okay? I've got loads more to show you. They put up my drawing on the bulletin the other day. I'm gonna take you there later. I'll be back.
Okay, Godfather. Thank God. She's
Bye. Go away, demon child.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like Kylie, I just don't like looking at her face.
Yeah.
As soon as she disappears in the small crowd, none the wiser of the sudden change in the mood around her. Luke straightens as soon as she's gone. The expression on his face grows less kind now that there's no one there to reassure. Despite that, the chuckle still escapes me. Sick quickly snaps to me, an accusing glare clear in his eyes. Although it's less threatening now, considering what I've witnessed earlier. Funny how one person's impression of someone can easily change with that minute detail.
Why are you laughing like that?
Don't mind me. I just saw something surprising today. Don't let it bother you.
Putting it like that won't make me any less inclined to ask. What is it, woman? If this is another one of your threats, I've already told you it isn't going to work on me. That good teacher act isn't going to fool anyone.
Now there's no one to stop me from being dumb thick ass that I am. Thanks, Jane.
What makes you think it has to do with you? I could have just remembered something funny. Not everything in this world revolves around you, mister.
I am not daft, Daisy. It's on your face for all the world to see. Now, say it so we can be done with this stupid talk.
More to delay than to express any sort of amusement over the matter. In truth, I don't know where to start. One wrong move, one wrong word, and I might offend the man. Okay. What do I say here? And now he is simply Luke. You're good at handling her. You really think that? I don't know, man. Good at handling up. Well, regardless of he acts, it's not like... Fish will have an impact on anything between us. I have no plans of getting too friendly with the man, though he might have some good points, emphasize on might. The best treatment I can hope myself to give is to stop thinking of him as a sleazy douche. Besides, after seeing that look on him, I figure someone like him can use a little compliment here and there. Probably doesn't get it much considering how coarse his own language can get.
Can't you act a wee bit polite for even a second of your life? It won't kill you. You'll easily get answers that way, you know? Instead of demanding things from people like a temperamental man-child.
I'll be nice when I want to be, woman. Don't tell me what to do.
And here I was just thinking how you're doing a brilliant job as Kylie's guardian. Was I mistaken?
Was I mistaken? What? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Stop playing dumb. I hate to admit it, but you actually seem to be good with kids. Possibly even better than most of the teachers here.
Well,
What do you
hopefully he
know?
has a lot of money to spend on gifts for them.
Yeah, I expected him to just take it all in, blow in his ego more, and even brag about it. Instead, what I get from him is a sound resembling a squawk. Lucas Tsundere. Love his voice.
Yeah.
You know what? His
He
voice
understands.
acting is possibly one of the best in like this entire game. Maybe that's him choking on his own pride. I can't tell above the hubbub surrounding us. Wait, squawking. We're like, ah! That noise that Ashton does every time.
Yeah, that.
When I glance at him, only a mortified.
I don't want to wake my parents scream.
Only a mortified expression is on his
No.
face. Oh my god. No.
No, you should be proud of yourself. At least there's this one good thing about you. Isn't that nice to hear? Pretty sure not a lot of compliments get thrown around about you, knowing how you are.
There are a lot of good things about me, Daisy.
Like my...
My hair, for one. There's also my
My
extraordinary
cheeks.
good looks. Wax lyrical about those all you want. I'd be happy to hear it any day. Praise anything about me. But that...
What is so repulsive about it? Even Kylie likes you. Shouldn't that tell you anything about yourself?
Kylie is one kid, not even my own. Trust me, you do not want to see me bring a spawn of my own into this world. It'll be an abomination.
I'll agree with that.
Is that what you keep telling yourself?
Maybe. Is it any of your business?
No. But if I didn't know any better, I'd say this is because you yourself think you're a little piece of shite and somehow it'll pass on. It doesn't work like that, by the way.
The last remark just came out. Maybe a sliver of truth in it, but I shouldn't have phrased it like that. Even for my own standards of the kind of person I'm talking to, it's still quite rude. An apology is already at my throat, but the minute I open my mouth, all of what I prepared myself to say dissipates. Lost in the moment in front of me. He has turned his gaze outside, staring at some point past the buildings, blocking the view of the sky, equally lost in his thoughts. He's a vexing man under so many standards. However, in this moment, the morning light streaming through from the window lends his features a certain air. No squawk for us. Oh yeah, I think he might squawk in the original one. It's okay, we got our own squawks.
Yeah.
Softer.
Oh, it's getting late, so I can't be any louder
Less
anymore.
severe than what he often flaunts. I might as well be looking at a different man. There's a tender note in his voice when he finds it, the words muttered under his breath, not intended for anyone but himself. Nevertheless, it reaches my ears, unintentional as it may be.
You're right. She deserves someone far better than me.
All that talk about self-worth makes sense somehow. It isn't some profound knowledge he pulled out of his arse. It has come about because he's already been there, likely still stuck in the middle of it. Preaching about your own personal experience is easier after all. Less room for mistakes, more for a dose of self-loathing. What a complicated man. Maybe that's why he drinks. He feels like he's not up to Hannah's standards. And honestly, you don't deserve Hannah.
I mean, I'm sure we'll discover a lot about his shit in his story, his chapter.
Just when you thought you figured him out, he does the one thing and says the other. People like him are the most difficult to gauge, far harder to understand. Yet it might be exactly for this reason why some are so easily charmed by him. It's the mystery that catches them, of wanting to find out what's underneath that bravado. won't count myself among those, yet his winning personality isn't exactly my cup of tea. Sometimes, once you get a glimpse of what's beyond the machismo, emphasizing with the man isn't much of a steep hill to climb. See, this is what I mean. People can be an asshole most of the time, but when you see that good part of them, you start focusing on that part of them. Yeah. Maybe that's why Hannah likes him. She only focuses on that part of him. If the comfortable silence now we share tells anything, that is. Perhaps this is as close to friendship as we can get. Silver insults flung around with a few shared silences in between, and it's not exactly a bad thing. He's not exactly a bad guy either, despite the awkward start we've had. Yes, he is. No, I'm gonna say that right now. Yes, he is, because he most likely cheated on Hannah, was going to cheat.
She's probably really slept around with, like, anybody.
He slept around with, like, a lot of people. This guy, he impregnated a lady. It's not great.
He probably feels guilty about that and is holding it against himself.
Yeah. Well, you know what you do? Change. Maybe it's for this reason that I can't resist throwing in a little comment to lift his mood before they
You know, Luke, you're not such a bad person.
Is that supposed to make me feel better? I'm touched, Daisy.
Take it how you will, but a little attitude change would help. A lot.
Oh, bollocks. Right, of course. Let me know when you're done with your lecture, ma'am.
And you can probably start by not leaving your wife out while you're having some quality time with your goddaughter. Who knows? Maybe that'll help change how the child sees her.
Where did you even get the idea I'm leaving my wife out? Have you ever even met?
No, but I did see her with you two last time.
The different expression quickly dissolves into a confused scowl while met with matching perplexity. It only has been 2 days. Surely his memory isn't that bad.
If you chose Do the Mash as Marianne, you would have seen a CG of the two doing the... Oh my god, really? We would have seen that?
Oh my god.
Someone drew that.
Oh my god. I'm so glad that we didn't pick that.
Oh my god! I was tempted to, like, yeah, let's do it! I would have been in so much trouble.
Oh my god. Oh, scandalous.
What? When was this?
At the cafe. After you left, she was sitting right beside you. Kylie was at the back and you were driving.
Daisy, are you sure you haven't accidentally hit yourself with your own book? Because that damn thing's quite big. And I'm really getting worried about you. It has only been a few days, and concussions can be dangerous. I suggest you have that checked.
Well, you asked. I just answered. It's pretty rude to make her wait like that, by the way.
How can I make her wait when she's not even with us?
What?
It was just Kylie and I that night.
Now you're just pulling my leg.
Nope. Luke exhales long and drawn out, his impatience rapidly changing the companionable air around us. In the face of it, I tense. I suddenly stepped into another minefield. Any chat I had with him so far has been like this. Why this still surprises me, escapes me. But above my worries of offending the man is my own bewilderment. I remember well enough what I saw that night, yet he says something completely different.
Wifey was out with Kylie's mummy that night. She wasn't with us. How do you think I ended up on babysitting duty?
But in the front seat. And Kylie's...
Miss Pink!
Oh god, what? Okay, so this demon child is now crying at us.
We must sacrifice someone to appease the demon child.
Okay, faceless one, you, right here. Who? Me? Yep.
Slit their throat right then and there. Drink the blood, child. Lunar just laughing in the jet.
Hot tears seep into my blouse as she buries her face in it, her arms winding tightly around me. Luke and I briefly exchanged worried glances, his own lips shut tight with concern. Her cries are soft enough to attract much attention. Most of the visitors have been ushered inside the rooms by now anyway. those that still linger, though.
It's
Watches
Teenage
are...
Larry Butts from Ace Attorney.
Oh my god, it is.
It is! Oh, he needs his signature orange coat.
Maybe.
If you're willing to edit that, why not?
I have no idea how I would do that. But the pop noise is now there. Those who still linger, though, watch our little group with great interest and concern. If I don't get a better handle of the situation, I have a feeling Luke will start yelling at everyone soon. Kneeling, I gently pull the girl away from me, cupping her face and wiping away tears, creating little trails on her cheeks.
Bless you.
Is drawn into a miserable pout when she peers up at me.
All right, Kylie, calm down. What happened?
It's my friend.
She's dead.
It's a little too vague, Munchkin.
Let her speak, Luke. Who is it, Kylie? Melody? Or was it the other one?
Yeah.
Did the two of you fight?
Oh, I thought it was because she's dead. Anyway, then immediately clams up after letting her sobs communicate the story instead, or as much as her shaky shoulders can tell me. Right behind me, Luke gives a nervous huff while he shifts on his feet. He must not be used to handling children crying. What
Sweetie, I won't be able to help you if you don't tell me what happened.
Seconds pass before she responds again. Tears are already gone when she finally musters the strength to talk, her cries subsiding to mere sniffles.
I wanted to give her the rest of the jelly babies, but she won't come out.
Where? Where is she?
In the little girl's room.
Is she still there?
She's friends with the lady, isn't she? You're gonna be asked to go to the bathroom.
I won't say what's wrong.
And then find
I kept asking her, but she told me to go away. Career day's going to start soon. I saw the prices Miss Alice will give us for good. She's gonna miss it.
Is that what you told her?
Yeah, she won't listen. She won't even take the jelly babies. After I saved it for her, too. She and Luke wanted to eat the red ones, but I told him it's not for him. Miss Pink, can you talk to her? Tell her to come out, and I'm really upset with her.
Takato. Just a little childish argument then. Times like this, I'm glad I teach teenagers mature enough for petty squabble. You know, teenagers are a lot worse when they argue.
Oh my god, teenagers are so fucking bad.
At least with, like, little kids,
and,
you can, like...
the dating drama, holy shit!
I'm gonna argue with this. If teenagers were not raised as children on how to deal with problems and arguments properly, they are much worse than little kids.
Yeah, because little kids have the excuse of they're kids, they're not that experienced. If you come across a teenager whining about this shit, it's like, oh god, do you kiss your mother with that mouth?
Yeah. Anyway, I guess it really changes from, like, you know, all kids are different, all teenagers are different, but, like, in my opinion, like, teenagers hold grudges, and kids can move on. It takes a while for
Not
kids
only
to
can
move
teenagers
on.
hold grudges, but they will take misunderstandings and run off with it, instead of talking things out with people.
They will refuse to listen if you try to bring things to light, because they'll insistent on sticking with the misunderstanding and look away from you when you're trying to explain it all.
Yeah.
God dang it. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm getting flashbacks when I'm a teenager. Being like, no, it's not. But yeah, kids are easier. And you know what? I think it really depends on the person and who's dealing with what. I do love being around children and won't mind having one or two of my own in the future, but it takes a whole different level of patience to teach several of them. It does. It does. I honestly admire my colleagues who willingly took the challenge. I look up to you for taking the challenge to deal with teenagers. I think it really all depends on... yeah, but kids can also be cruel enough to make another kid eat a live gecko or drag a puppy with a bike. Anyone can be cruel no matter what age. That's very true.
Humanity is full of dicks.
Everyone is a percentage of dick and ass.
I'd make a comment about how that sounds really gay, but that would be offensive.
That's another weakness I'll have to steel myself against before I think of having one of my own. For now, I'm
Okay,
into it.
tell me where she is, sweetie.
Okay, let's go to this place. I'm not reading this. Because I know. I know. Okay. This place is for school activities. Luke stays behind. Whatever. It's
London Bridge is falling
Shut
down.
up. Stop
Falling
it.
down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down. My fair lady.
Okay, let's call out to her.
Hello? Hello there? You're Kylie's friend, aren't you? Melody, is it? She's looking for you.
Children can be so amusing sometimes. Granted, they can be exasperating, especially around this age, but endearing things about them outweigh those. All you need is enough level of patience.
Career day's about to start, too. You'll have to come out, or you're going to be really late for it.
That double shut up. Okay.
Yeah.
Did we both say shut up at the same time? Careers day about to start soon. Okay.
Miss Alice won't be happy if one of her kids isn't there. I heard she brought little gifts for everyone who'll behave. Don't you want to receive one?
Her cries show no signs of abating. They only grow louder. No, close to a well. Alarming regardless.
Are you okay?
From where I'm standing, it sounds like she's in some kind of pain, and it's not impossible. They do that at times, hiding what ails them for fear of a reprimand. If it's like that, coaxing her might be useless. Might also make sense why she chose the loo furthest from the classroom. Wasting no time, I gesture for Kylie to wait, and amble towards the door calmly so I don't alarm her. At the same time, a distant sense of deja vu hits me. I've been in this position before, behind a door, with someone crying on the other side, my calls ignored, and their cries growing to a wail. Just this past week, actually. Even so, being in the same situation before doesn't bring any comfort. I'm putting up for the child beside me. It is a thick undercut of worrying trickling into my stomach. I take one last breath, then nudge the door open. It all happens in a span of a second. I don't make it past 2 steps in that room. Her cries abruptly stop. Light footsteps shuffle behind me, coming to a halt at the door. My heart skips a beat. When I turn...
Kylie?
Kylie, I knew something was wrong with you.
Miss Pink? Miss Pink? Why didn't you help her?
My whole body becomes motionless at the sight of her. Words catching in my throat and heart pounding rapidly against my chest. This is Kylie, I'm sure of it. Yet nothing in the manner she speaks or the way she tilts her head in question carries the youthful, innocent vibe she always brings with her. As if I'm merely looking into a dead, hollow imitation of the child.
Can't you hear her? She's asking for your help.
But it is not those that trigger a memory. It's those chilling eyes, calling, beckoning.
Why won't you listen to her?
Because she hasn't paid me back the $5 that I loaned her. I told her that I wanted it, and I would not speak to her until she gave it to me. Now, interest has increased. She owes me $500. I still don't got that $500. It's been 20 years.
You were the one that murdered her, admit it!
All at once, the memory returns to me, and the tide that receded now returns to the shore with an overwhelming force, carrying images of a single moment from days ago, of a world passing by in a blur, and of features I could barely discern under the little light there was. Not a week has passed. In this minute, when I keep my eyes trained on the child before me, they return with such unbearable clarity. There's no horrid wounds this time, no blood streaming down the pale face. Thank heavens. Just lips contorted in a small, twisted smile. They brim with venom I've never expected to see in a child, sending tiny pinpricks of dread crawling up my limbs and winding up my neck. Oh! Well, I guess this is another part that doesn't have... Is it just me, or is, like, there's some parts that just doesn't have voice
dialogue?
Acting?
Yeah. It's weird.
Okay. You're a bad person. People like you deserve to die. Yeah, well, I don't agree. Hashtag Jeff the Killer life. I can't breathe. Wait, quick time event? Is this what's happening?
Possibly.
Okay. A chill settles at the tip of my fingers, every digit gone rigid from the cold. With every single draw of breath, any struggle from the air of freedom, the coils wrapped around my body tight, dragging me down. A gradual torturous ascent into another bottomless abyss.
Lunar says, nah, you're good.
And on, until I lose touch with myself and the world.
Help me!
Until darkness claims me, and unexpectedly a note. In the distance, harsh and piercing, cutting through the thick stupor, shattering the haze without
Are you
warning.
ladies done with your business here? I'll have all morning to wait for you two.
My eyes snap open, the world shifts into a place with ragged grasp. When I glance up, a different set of eyes greet me.
Are you okay, Miss Pink?
No anger, no vile hatred in them. Just panic. See, she looks fine in this.
Yeah.
She looks like she's actually proportionate.
Yeah.
Just plain sincere concern. Bit by bit, I become more aware of my surroundings and myself as warmth steadily slips back into me. I think that lady's trying to possess me.
Yeah.
Luke saved our life.
I think she's trying to possess, like, somebody.
She's lying, mash the space bar, he says. I reached out for the nearby counter to steady myself at some point. My knuckles have gone white from how rigid my grip is. It's over now, yet the tension still hasn't left my body. My heart still hammers hard against my chest. An erratic rhythm, and my breathing still comes in short, shallow bursts. Before me, Kylie with her hands, utterly unsure of what to do to an adult in what's probably a laughable
Did you
state.
get sick? I'll call Tio, okay? Stay here and don't move.
No. No need. Just leave me alone.
Tio will know how to fix you. Oh, wait, okay?
I wish I could speak reassurance to her, but I can't shake it off. The dread is there, twisting my insides in anticipation of what? Oh. I think she's inside of me. You know?
At this point, yeah.
I think she's inside of me because it says anticipation of what exactly? Yeah, the spirits are the weakest area art-wise in this VN. The sprites are the weakest. Murder! Murder! I'm no longer sure. Pushing myself off the counter, I break off into a run. Brushing off an anxious look Kylie gives me, I gently push her away on my way out, or the furrow on Luke's brows when I stumble into him outside. Whatever they both saw on my face, I care not to know. Bloody hell, I don't even understand what's happening anymore. The tremors continue long before the last of my classes have ended. Birds! Although none of my students have commented on it, I caught a few sharing anxious glances every time a pen slips by my hand on my shoulders whenever... Birds! Tense, whenever they're caught. I think they're a group of crows, which means they're a group of... How unusual it must be for them to see the normally composed Miss Scales become a bundle of nerves. Even the most boisterous ones have given me less grief today. I'm gonna go eat. Okay, yep, cup of tea. Egad, why does counting matter now? The fact I can't easily shake it off this time should tell me something. That it's 1 a.m. Is it almost done?
And it is a natural conclusion.
Those are just stories, century-old lore, passed by the locals to keep children in line.
Oh, Takako is the name of the lady.
That place doesn't have those. So big hole there. What place doesn't have those? One of my dad's books even went as far to describe them as a strong part of Isabella's culture. 3 giants, women who feed on unborn children straight from the mother's womb, or hell. There's even one story about a demon baby. I think that's Kylie, though. All folklore that has never had a smidgen of truth in it, most probably told to scare off the natives there back in the old days. Much like every other one in every other place. World is more universal than people care to think. I think it's because people have a lot of the same fears. But looking at it from where I'm standing now, after staring right into the eyes of that woman, after all the things I've been hearing and feeling, perhaps there really is more to that bloody letter than some awful Halloween prank. Oh, good for you. You know.
Perhaps Isabella's right all along.
A terrible thing, if true, though the thought doesn't linger long, thankfully. Soon the ringing of my mobile takes my attention away from it.
Oh, Marianne.
An unfamiliar name flashes before me once the screen lights up and my brows knit together. Marianne McCoy. Marianne. Zooming hard at the screen, I try to remember when I've entered this person on my contact list. It takes a moment, but when it clicks, my eye zeroes in on the book lying wide open on my table. Yep. Talking about the book, and I don't really care about it, actually.
Marianne?
Hello! Here I was starting to wonder if it was a bad time to call. Is it?
No, not at all. I dismissed my last class a few minutes ago. I'm pretty much free for the rest of the afternoon. Unless something comes up. Is this about last time? The book?
Not really. I was hoping to ask you about some other thing.
Oh, sure. What about?
You grew up in this city, didn't you?
It's a peculiar question to ask to someone you've just met, but I answer her nevertheless. I'm curious where she's headed with this by starting with that.
Born and raised. 3rd-generation migrant. Why do you ask?
So, you must be familiar with the local lore. The, stories?
Quite. If I'm going to teach about history, I'd like to think I am, yeah? But a family friend would be a better person to ask. If you want, I can contact him for you.
No. Let's just keep this thing between us, okay? It's nothing too big. Alright. I really don't know how else to put this without sounding a bit crazy. But things have been really, odd. Do you remember the mansion I mentioned back when we met? My current project?
In hindsight, I should have expected it to lead to this. She must not have lived here long if she's asking about this now. It didn't take a week with Isabella when she arrived, but that's Isabella, superstitious down to the last hair. Though it won't be too far off to think Marianne has only started thinking about this recently. She's working on the damn house itself. The demon baby one is the most terrifying, according to my mom. Huh. Of all the legends and lore. I must admit, even I'm curious now, despite living here for so many years and having so many chances to look it up before.
The Ermengarde Mansion, yes?
Yes, that one. And, the thing is... Oh dear, this is a bad idea. You know what? Just forget I ever called you about this.
It must have been sunny weather. It's making me sick in these stupid things. These things.
No, wait. It's all right. I don't mind.
As long as pause before she responds again. She's right in that. It's a silly thing to talk about, especially between what I assume two people who are pretty grounded in their beliefs with regards to these things. I'll blame her if she hesitates.
I can't believe I'm asking you about this.
It's fine. Why don't you just think of it as some form of research?
Well, all right. But after this, we're going to forget we ever had this talk.
My lips will be sealed. Now, what is it about the mansion?
Just, what do you know about it? The general gist. The place's past. What happened to the owners? Anything you can give me.
Let's see. To start off,
Do my best to give her a concise summary from the time the house was commissioned 400 years ago and who had it built. Up to that point, it got deserted after the last heir's death, and the deed was passed on to the immigrants' nearest relatives. Frankly, if it weren't for those urban legends persisting, the house would have already faded into obscurity long ago. Demolished, even. These are all nothing. She's probably hasn't heard of before, yet there's dissatisfaction in her tone once I finish.
All there really is to it?
as far as I know, there's this little bit I forgot to mention about Lady Charlotte Ermengarde's death, but most of those are just theories. Aside from that, this is really everything we've been teaching all these years. Should there be anything more?
How about tell us what the rumors are?
No mention of any other weird stuff? Other crazy stories? Or a letter of some sort?
My blood rose cold. Any warmth and comfort the tea I drank has given me prior has instantly been drained out of me. The phone creaks softly as my light hold on it turns to a firm grip. This whole letter bullshit is starting to turn into more than a coincidence.
None that I've heard or read of. What does a letter have to do with this?
Oh, no. It was just something I came across. Ignore it. Random thoughts, you know? By the way, I need to run. Thanks for answering my questions.
She ends the call abruptly with only one quick goodbye, leaving my mind heavy with even more thoughts. The mood around my classroom has gone considerably denser in the light of what I gleaned from that conversation. I don't think Marianne's lying about her intent. Her interest is genuine, I give her that, but she left a lot of things out. Get the sense she only asked because something's happening around her too. And if she hasn't mentioned the letter, mentioned the letter, I would have probably made the connection. I probably wouldn't have made the connection.
Just what the hell did we get ourselves into?
Of course, there's still a lot of confusing details in this. All these are just assumptions. No concrete conclusion to be formed with what we have, and if we want to find out what we're really dealing with, I think Marianne's right. There might be something more to those stories. As absurd as it sounds, the very place that gave us that letter might tell us something beyond what we know. And tomorrow night, I have a few hours of that chance at the housewarming party. Totally not an exciting thought, since the place is permanently owned now, and you can't just wander around. There's enough reason to keep the dread at bay. I step out of the room, ready to put the end to this day. Ah! Why are you here? Ever all those good vibes disappear into thin air when I run into Luke. Something, but there's really something in this man. Regardless of how much my opinion of him has changed over the span of a few hours, he simply blasts through every good impression people have of him without care or thought. He doesn't even need to open his mouth. His mere presence just doesn't. In all honesty, I think he's the kind of guy only a mother can love.
You're still here?
Obviously. Who do you think's standing in front of you?
An ass.
Oh, come on, Daisy. You've done better than that. Losing your touch?
Luke, I don't have time for this. I'm heading home, and your face is the last thing I want to see before I leave. What
Next
do you
venue,
want?
you choose between Ashton and Luke, up to whose affection you want up.
I notice partly raised, almost poised for a knock. At the slight lift of an eyebrow, he quickly drops it to his hand and turns to Kylie. Oh, okay. He proceeds to make vague gestures at me and the child. He resembles a fish flopping for air when he's moving his arms, though I think he's trying to urge his...
Munchkin, I thought you wanted to tell her something.
You do it, Tio.
This wasn't my idea, darling.
Don't worry. I won't tell Tia what you told me the other day. And this morning.
Oh, God. Luke needs more love. What?
I don't know if he needs that from Rebecca, though.
Luke exhales, rolling his eyes at the ceiling and maybe praying for the universe to grant him more patience. He knows a losing battle when he sees one. He may act worse than a 5-year-old throwing a tantrum at times, but he's no match for an actual child. I'm getting really tired, you guys. I think better being served a dose of his own medicine, huh? And once his frustration has been promptly let out, he points a rude finger at me. I do my best to share the offending digit down, but I can already hear the demand before it's even out of his
You,
face.
come with us.
What makes you think I will?
Because little Rugrat here is upset and worried, and it's your bloody fault. I've no idea what happened this morning, but if you don't come with us, I won't be hearing the end of it from her. So do me a favor, Daisy, and just be glad I'm inviting you.
You're asking for a favor, and you can't be bothered to be polite? I don't know. It's been a really busy day for me. I kind of miss my couch.
Daisy, you just say yes.
Pause follows, almost too dramatic. Afterwards, his face twists into something between a grimace and a smile. As it happens, it appears he's in a lot of physical pain. You think the man is getting an aneurysm by just simply being
Please?
polite.
Tio said it'll be his treat.
What? I said no such thing, Munchkin. I only agreed to this because you requested it. I'm under no obligation to feed her.
I promise we'll be quiet the next time I visit.
Oh, all right, but just one meal and make it the cheapest.
He and Ashton will get along famously on that department. I think they hate each other, though.
Yeah.
The offer of free dinner does sound enticing, however half-heartedly given it is. Mostly because Kylie has wisely put on her puppy dog eyes. Oh god, her eyes, they just won't stop growing. Get some good sleep. Ha! By the second I find my choices slipping away from me.
See, Miss Pink? It'll be fun. You don't have to feel sad anymore, okay?
Oh, well,
Oh, busts from my pocket, cutting me mid-sentence, and for a second I'm spared from the act of giving the answer I'll regret either way. Finishing the gadget out, I wave my hand at him, excuse myself, and describe the expression on Luke's face before I turn away. I'd be lying if I say it didn't amuse me. He's eager to be done with this as I am, but what can I do? Checking a message from Ashton shows. Just the usual. Unlike what he does to Zachary, Ashton has to decently let us know when he's dropping by or he's in the area for some business. Okay, so... Okay.
Well, Daisy?
Okay, so we have to pick between him or this guy. I'm going to sleep here, and I'm really tired. I need to go to bed, you guys.
Yeah.
So
Go to bed.
I'm gonna
It's late.
Stop this here. Good night.